All right, we should be live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Merry Madness, episode 6. I'm being joined by my co-host, Kat, the Grenier marketing director.
Corpus marketing
Like I said,
director.
infested marketing
you
director.
lying scum. Corpus marketing director.
And
you
you can't see my hand right now because I don't have my camera on because the lighting is horrible, but I'm pointing at Semi the Infamous, one of tonight's guests.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Run in fear. The tentacles are coming.
Some people will enjoy that, specifically the Japanese. And then, due to my inability to understand how Twitter works, the link I sent to Ryan from Legion Games got lost in the emails. So we just sent him one Samael. So hopefully he's able to show up. Ryan, if you're watching this, I apologize. When you show up, I'm also going to apologize again. I feel really bad. So I did want to talk to Ryan about Game of Thrones because I do have some very strong opinions about that show, very different from him, but he's not here yet. So instead, I'm pretty sure everyone here could be classified as a nerd, right?
I mean, to a degree, yeah.
Enjoyers of science fiction.
Yeah. Like I said, to a degree.
Yeah. So recently when I got home, my dad knows I like reading stuff, and he decided to, and I quote, give me a book that's got some reality to it and not pie in the sky. The book in question is 7 Seconds to Die. It is a military analysis of the second Nagorno-Karabakh war, effectively a conflict between the Armenians and the Azerbaijani. And it reads like a science fiction novel, a very, very depressing science fiction novel. I'm just going to quickly describe some of the stuff that it discusses, predominantly weapons that were used in this combat, and I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on this because I've expressed mine behind the scenes pretty heavily. So, a little bit of background. The Azerbaijani won this war in 44 days, partly due to being allied with Turkey and Armenia's ally Russia not wanting to get involved for a few different reasons. This happened back in 2020. And the primary reason the Azerbaijani won was due to a lot of, partly because they had significantly better information gathering, way better UAVs, and the support of Turkey's information systems, as well as the use of self-guided munitions and drones, which has kind of heralded a change in the way warfare works. Now, instead of having combined arms is more or less completely destroyable using swarms of drones that have effectively changed the battlescape. These drones are sophisticated enough to gather information up until the point of impact that is so crystal clear it can be uploaded onto social media sites and used as effectively terror tactics. And this is the technology being used by a third world nation like Azerbaijan with the support of Turkey. Imagine what countries like China, Russia, and America have at their disposal. And also the stuff that we can see, not stuff that's necessarily under production or currently declassified.
Well, point of order here.
Yeah.
Thing you got to remember about Chinese military production is that they don't innovate. Everything they have has been either backwards engineered or directly stolen from other powers like the U.S. and Russia.
True. But also
just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I know. But I also imagine that they're keeping their heads on the swivel for stuff that the U.S. has that is very, very good. And if it's something like this, where it seems like it'll be getting to the point where you won't even need boots on the ground or eyes in the sky, you'll just need swarms and swarms of drones. Howdy, Zenny.
Oh, yeah.
That seems like the kind of thing that if I was a certain Pooh Bear, I'd want to grab right and quick. Howdy, Logical Spock. How you doing today? So yeah, Kat, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with Tim Pool on this. The fact that we have no idea what military technology there is, and that they're probably far worse than we can imagine. Now, do I know if it's going to be drones or anything like that? Not particularly. But I do know that whatever they have, it's better than what we have. But then I know you were going to bring... I brought it up. I think you or we both brought it up in the context of sci-fi fantasy. Well, sci-fi, where it's like... I mean, in the case of like Warframe, why is everybody shooting with guns? Or Destiny, where it's like, it's all... the technology should have advanced Anyway, but I don't know.
I mean, in the case of Destiny, that's people picking up the scraps of a fallen reality, and actually, a lot of the technology you see is incredibly advanced. For example, the
Rasputin?
Cabal
Oh no,
armor.
I'm talking about humanity. The Cabal aren't.
Oh,
Don't get me started
yeah.
on the Cabal, because then I'll go into a rant about the goddamn shields in Destiny 2, which makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, Logical Spock. That's rough. That's really rough, man.
Ooh. No, I get it, because my skin is really, really dry right now, so I'm itching all the time.
Yeah.
And we have a secret. We have a theory that the air conditioners at my job are secretly destroying everything, so that they can keep coming back. So they fix something and then they break something else.
Right.
We're pretty sure at this point that that's what's happening, because they just fixed one of the units and the other one is now broken and leaking all over the place, over one of the registers.
Actually, real quick, Kat, going back to what you were saying about why are they still using guns, that's actually a very good question, because the last thing you'd want to use in, say, an enclosed space or an enclosed
Oh
thing
my God,
while you're
you're
in
right.
space is a projectile weapon.
Why? You're right.
Because it'll punch holes in the hull and it'll kill everybody.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't a lot of Warframe weapons energy based?
No, the only reason you think that is because I only use Corpus weapons. Corpus weapons are energy based. Grineer weapons are projectile. That's the main difference between them.
A follow-up with that is if you use a small enough caliber round, like for example in the Expanse, they predominantly use like say 2mm rounds. Yeah, you need to put a lot more into people, but that's not going to rupture the hull.
Well, here's the other problem.
What?
Here's the other problem with that is that sure you could use special rounds that wouldn't necessarily rupture the hull, but say for whatever reason you're out in 0G, right? You wouldn't necessarily have your oxygen shit going on all the time, because you'd need to conserve resources. You'd need something that was capable of firing when there wasn't any oxygen. Now, projectile weapons require oxygen to fire.
Yeah.
Oh, even more. Though I'll say this, even the Corpus electric laser weapons could probably damage a hull.
I mean, it depends on, like, for example, if you have like ablative armor on your ships and stuff, not saying the Corpus have that, but or something that's energy resistant, it's possible to put in stops to avoid that. Also, in the case of like oxygen and stuff like that, the Expanse covers this very well, where a lot of people out in the belt, whenever they get into like a combat zone, they put on their oxygen gear because they know their ship is going to start getting poked full of holes.
No, but it's a very, when you really think about it, you literally, especially if you go on a Grineer, and the Grineer have ships and all their weapons are projectiles.
Right.
Even if,
but don't the Grineer also have helmets on at all times, kind of like the Corpus?
No, the Grineer, they have, it's not like the Corpus. They do have face coverings and helmets, but they're not the same as the Corpus. The Corpus have a short-term temporary life support oxygen supply. So even if they do punch a hole, the Corpus could potentially survive it, because if they go into a different section of the ship, the Grineer don't have those. So
well, I mean, like their suits.
No, they don't. Grineer don't wear suits. Grineer wear armor. It's pretty clear they don't wear. No,
they don't even have like a rebreather. Sorry, I was yawning. They don't even have rebreathers or anything like that.
Nope, the Corpus do, not the Grineer.
That seems like an example of like overlooking things. But I mean, even in space, firearms will still have a purpose. They'll just need to be evolved around changes. Like you did. For example, armor still exists, even though the traditional form of armor got phased out, because musket ball can punch through plate armor at not at like maximum range, but if you get a musket at an effective range, you can punch right through a suit of plate armor. But now we're switching back to say
going back to your example of the Expanse. The PDCs that they've got on the Rocinante, those are railguns.
No, not the No. There's a distinct difference. The railgun they've got up front is a fucking railgun.
Sure, that's you're talking more or less calibers at that point. The PDCs, like, again, they wouldn't be able to fire normal munitions in space. There's not oxygen, so they'd have to use something along the lines of the way a railgun works with the magnetics.
That's probably what a lot of
Um,
the Warframe weapons are. They
Yeah, and
probably
they're
do
not,
have
like-
a way that
yeah.
isn't gunpowder. It wouldn't make sense for the Grineer to be using gunpowder. They probably use something else. But it's still, even if putting that, that's not even an issue. Let's say they can fire the weapons. It's the simple fact that they are on a ship in space, and random shots are going to hit the walls.
I think that might be an oversight in the case of PDCs because if that was the case, they would have because like reading the books, if there was that kind of like consideration, there would have been a point made about the difference between a PDC and traditional railgun, because they describe because I'm looking at the wiki and it's referred to as an autocannon, and I'm looking at the specs and there doesn't seem to be any distinction between, like, it's not specifying that they use railguns.
So that
and they
seems like an
also-
oversight on the author's part, then.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan's here. Hey, Ryan.
So I'll say I think the whole punching thing is probably an oversight on the part of DE, because they still do this. Don't get me, the organ transplant thing makes no sense. So I'm pretty sure nobody sat down and went, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. Hey, Ryan. What's up?
Hey,
Sorry for
I don't remember when we had the conversation about me being on this.
It's Monday.
Was
Yeah.
it Monday? Okay,
Yeah.
I've slept like once since then. So
yeah, no, it was like on the stream, and then I sent you that email,
Sleep is
and
good
then
for
you got back, so I thought email was like the appropriate way to contact you, so I sent you another.
No.
email.
Ha 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 ha.
no, it's all good, man. Sorry about that. So yeah. What are we talking about? I missed the beginning.
Yeah, no worries.
Space weapons.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Game of Thrones with you, but you weren't here, so we skipped over to a book I recently started reading called 7 Seconds to Die. Are you familiar with it?
I don't think I've heard that at all.
All right, it's a military analysis of the second Nagorno-Karabakh war, basically a conflict between Azerbaijan and Turkey versus Armenia.
It's a nonfiction book.
Yeah, nonfiction. It happened in 2020. Is that ringing any bells?
No.
No.
Okay.
No,
Uh,
are you kidding me, man? In 2020, you really
Yeah.
think a little border skirmish is going to make the news in 2020?
Well, I mean, like,
You know what I
reason
was
this is
doing in 2020?
worrying about COVID, and I don't know. I'm just checking
I
to make sure.
wasn't worrying about
COVID.
COVID. I was worrying about my goddamn job.
Man, our own country was burning down then.
Yeah, I'm just making sure because I don't want to start like explaining something and then Ryan be like, "Shadow, I knew all
Shut
about
up.
this. What do you think?"
No, you're good. Y'all go to town. I'll jump in if something sounds interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, we
So-
kind of shifted away from that to discussing why science fiction is very badly written a lot of the time. The general synopsis of this war is it was basically won in like a month due to the use of autonomous drones and autonomous guided missiles and stuff like that. That basically the Azerbaijani secured aerial dominance between themselves and Turkey, having better air forces than Armenia. And then they use that superior air force to use self-propelled munitions and superior like UAVs and stuff like that that allowed them to eliminate Armenian tanks and artillery, and basically just left them with entrenched infantry that were either getting picked off by Azerbaijani artillery and tanks or Azerbaijani drones. The actual title of the book, 7 Seconds to Die, comes from the fact that when one of these drones was identified, the Armenians had two options. They could die for cover or they could die, and they had 7 seconds to react. And that's before something like an AI is given control, because that's with the reflexes of a human operator. So imagine something that lived in nanoseconds rather than seconds. And that 7 seconds to die becomes you're dead before you realize it, which is horrifying to think about.
All right.
Any thoughts on that?
Humanity. We're so advanced.
Well, the fact is that when it comes to war and stuff like that, nothing's ever pretty, and the most efficient way to take somebody out without affecting your own personnel is always going to be the most popular. That's
Yeah.
just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
And as human beings evolve, we're going to get better at killing each other, and that's also just the way it's going to be. Because unfortunately, human beings have always been these primal animals that we're always going to go to war with each other. There's never going to be a time frame where we don't, and that's just the unfortunate truth.
Yeah, it's like a wheel. There's this one on top, then this one on top, and then this one on top, and it's just going to keep rolling and rolling and rolling.
Mhm.
Was that
Yeah.
was that a Limp Bizkit reference?
No, it was a Game of Thrones reference because I wanted to use that to segue into why. Just to segue into that, because one of the reasons I wanted to get Ryan on was just we have some different opinions on Game of Thrones and that setting, and I would like to just have a discussion about that.
He likes
hey.
he likes the greens.
The
Yes.
hell are the greens?
So in Game of Thrones, it's in the House of the
Oh
Dragon.
God, do I even want to know? Am I gonna?
No, it's political parties. So in the House of the Dragon, the two major groups, the two major like political factions within the Dance of the Dragons are the High Towers and the Valerians, or the Valyrians. However, the hell you're supposed to pronounce that house name? It's the same as the freaking ethnic population. And they got these names by one of these big feasts where the two figureheads of both political groups, Alicent Hightower and Rhaenyra Targaryen, based on the color of dress they wore. Which the show didn't do that. Rhaenyra was wearing a white dress for some reason. I had a lot of issues with that.
In episode 8, when Viserys is still alive and walks to the throne, she's wearing a black dress. And Alicent was wearing green.
Yeah, but like if I remember correctly in the book, the political party names came from like that feast where Alicent showed up, and it's like what color light flies in the High Tower when House Hightower goes to war? Green. That feast, she was wearing the white dress, and if I remember from the book, I might be misremembering the book. That was like when the two political factions really began to get roots, based on the fact that Alicent was wearing a green dress and Rhaenyra was wearing a black dress.
Okay. Well, obviously the show's going to take a little bit of liberties with that, because they don't want it to be exactly the same. And the book is very messily written.
Yeah, it is, which I mean is kind of like the intent, because it's meant to be like a historical book, but at the same time, when you have freaking Sesame Street characters in the book.
Is this the one that I've been hearing some other YouTubers talk about, where they were like, oh, well, it's unreliable narrators, and it's not one unreliable narrator, it's like three.
Yeah, Fire and Blood.
Like that just negates anything that happens in there. Then it's like, oh, well, fuck off, all three of them could be lying, this didn't happen.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead, dude. No, I was just gonna say the show is gonna make what happened canonical.
Yeah, which I think is fine, because this is meant to be like an in-universe historical text, which is an interesting concept, as long as people are told from the get-go, this isn't a story, this is a historical reading. Keep that in mind. It also allows Martin or his successors to go back and tell stories in this period of time and be able to go, well, that was just what history said.
Yeah.
But so back to the point at hand. Ryan is a black, I am a green. And
spicy.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck does that mean?
I don't even want to know.
So the green, to put them into like modern political terms, the Greens could be considered conservatives. They are led by the Hightowers, who are one of the more religious members of Westeros. They are very tightly knit with the Faith of the Seven. They're also the side that's arguing for a son to inherit the throne rather than a daughter, and then a bunch of other stuff. And then the Blacks are pushing for a queen to take the throne. They don't really have much in the way of religious connotations. Minor some Valyrian stuff, because Rhaenyra ends up fucking her uncle. So but that was established by not the previous king, the king before that king. So I'm not going to consider that. And then also just like shifting certain traditions out of Westeros in favor of newer methods of thinking. That's at least my perspective. Ryan, do you have anything to add or counter with that?
I think that's a decent interpretation. I will say this though, I think it's kind of hard to shoehorn in each faction, because quite frankly, the Greens are actually usurping what Viserys wanted to do and what everybody agreed to, and all because Otto Hightower wants power, and so he manipulates his daughter into doing what he wants. And so it's it's an interesting story. I can understand why everybody on all sides of it are kind of pieces of crap, because they all do things that are, which we're gonna see coming up, is it's gonna get very ugly.
Yeah,
And
a lot of lines get crossed.
yeah,
A lot of lines.
so I kind of side with what Viserys wanted, because he was trying to keep the peace, and to where you have literally one house trying to declare war before the other one, and then of course once Rhaenyra's son is killed, that's when she kind of goes all in, and the bloodlust takes over as well, and then they're just at each other's throats.
Yeah.
So
Which I find really funny that the death of like hundreds, thousands of peasants is like, oh, that's just we don't need to go to war yet. It's fine.
oh, you're
Those are just
talking
peasants.
about when they burst through the floor. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a bad move on the show's part.
Let me ask you guys something. Are any of you guys familiar with the Forgotten Realms
Yes.
Vaguely.
stuff?
Yes, I
Okay,
think I read the
so
first one, Dragons of Autumn, I think it was called.
that was Dragonlance, I think.
Yeah.
It's a different world than Forgotten Realms. So in it, there's
Oh,
a
wait,
society.
wait. Is that with the Drizzt Do'Urden?
Yes, that's.
Yeah,
where
I
I'm
read
getting
the
at this.
first or second book, a couple of the Drizzt Do'Urden books.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
so
the primary
what-
setting of D&D.
what? Yeah, it's one of them. But yes, so there's a city that exists in what's called the Underdark, which is underground, quite literally, called Menzoberranzan.
Yeah.
And it's populated entirely by dark elves, who are by and large fucking evil. Their goddess is evil. They, anyway. So what you're describing here in regards to the various houses in the Game of Thrones thing sounds an awful lot like the politics of Menzoberranzan between the houses of the Drow.
Yeah, very, very. From what little research I've done on the Drow, very, very similar in that regard. Though the Drow have a very interesting rule compared to Westeros in regards to their political machinations. When you declare war on a house in Menzoberranzan, you are, to my understanding, effectively contractually obligated to your god Lolth to exterminate that entire house.
Yeah,
and if you
pretty
fail,
much. If
fucked.
you fail, then you get exterminated in turn.
Yeah, it's Menzoberranzan is an absolute.
Yeah,
fuster.
it's all in. That's a reason. There's a reason that the city never grows beyond like 20,000.
Yeah. Well, that in fact, the Underdark is fucking Australia, but worse. I actually I played a character. My DM's goal was to basically make a super hard survival campaign in the Underdark. That didn't pan out due to partly half the party being new players, and then the other part being said new players, between them and some charts he had made, doing horrific things to the Underdark. He basically gave us an out, because I want you to imagine the Flood mixed with a demon army in Australia. That is what two players created between being dumbasses and rolling horrifically bad. It was horrific.
You should
Underdark
really
is a
read some of the R.A. Salvatore novels, especially the stuff involving the Drow, because that sort of thing happens like weekly in that world.
Yeah, it's like I've been recommended that stuff, but I'm reading 7 Seconds to Die. I'm currently reading the Bible through. I'm reading the Witcher books. I'm reading a lot of stuff. But so back on like the greens and blacks situation. Actually,
Wait,
I
have you heard
personally
about-
sorry.
Have you heard about what's going on with D&D though? Did you see? I was going to post this video in the Discord with Clownfish TV's video about the whole issue with licensing.
Oh,
The Emu Wars.
I just saw that Zenibus said the Emu Wars. That was a real fucking
Ooh,
thing in
the emu-
Australia, man.
yes, I absolutely love
and
that.
Australia fucking lost.
Multiple. There's been like 2.
Yeah, and
Wait,
I know at
wars
least the
between
first one-
against the humans
Yeah.
against emos or emus against emus?
Because the
So-
Humans against
against
emus, and the
emus.
humans fucking lost.
So
Wait,
I
what
don't know about
happened?
the second one. I did some research on the first one just to troll some Aussies I knew. The first one, basically, they had the emu They had basically, from my understanding, is they had hunted emus to a point where they were near extinct, so they labeled them as endangered, and then their population got back up and they became a pest again.
They didn't get
And
up.
they-
It exploded, man.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
started they started destroying farmland.
Yep.
So they sent in the army because it was like, what the fuck else are we gonna do? There's hundreds of these flightless birds destroying the farms. So they would send in the army. But an interesting thing about Emu is they are tough motherfuckers. You could put like a
They
you could
fought
put
back.
several you could put
Yeah.
you could put several rounds into the thing, and it would keep running, not at you, but away from you. And so
Well,
they could
these
never
are not
confirm
small
their
birds,
kills.
dude. They're 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know they're not small.
And
Yeah,
they're mean.
so
They're
you could
vicious,
never
actually.
Wait,
It
so
was
because I need
very-
something to troll my brother, because my brother actually lives in Australia and has Australian citizenship.
They lost more than one war to to birds.
Yes. And so they
Yeah.
couldn't confirm the kills on the emus. So they were basically spending millions of dollars of ammunition, and it's like, we've killed 0 birds, and we've spent enough fuel to win 3 world wars and enough ammunition to conquer China. What the fuck are we doing? Let's just put up a bounty and hire independent contractors. So the Aussie military lost the war and basically put up a bounty, and a bunch of farmers just did the job they couldn't do. It was an amazing war. Humanity is glorious. We are fan fiction.
No. Wait, no. You know what? Given some of the stuff going on, yeah, we probably are. We're worse
Also-
than fan fiction.
Battles like Rourke's Drift, like, that is just proof that Britain is God's OC. Like, they should not have won that fight, and they did. Yeah.
right. Anyone looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy? My brother just upgraded my pre-order. He pre-ordered it for me as a gift for the Islamic holiday at the end of Ramadan, last Ramadan, and he got me the deluxe version. Well, I promised him I'd pay him the difference between the regular and the deluxe. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm planning on buying a Hogwarts robe.
You know,
Maybe.
I wasn't planning on getting that game, but I've got so many people on Twitter telling me to go fuck myself. If I do buy it, I might do it out of spite. I hate. I have nothing to do with Harry Potter. I think the whole franchise is retarded, and it's
I
got
agree.
nothing to do with the author. I just don't like the characters or the story or any of that stuff.
Never
But I might
understood it.
buy this just to fuck with some people on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm
should live
not-
stream it too.
never understood it.
As a kid, I don't know. I was growing up around when those books were popular, so that might be why. I did enjoy reading
Yeah,
them.
I was an
did enjoy
adult.
the movies. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why.
I was in, how old was I? Fuck. I think I was in high school when they came out. I remember driving from my job where I worked at Taco Bell to meet my parents and my sister who wanted to see it. And I was like, I showed up in uniform and stuff like that to watch the very first Harry Potter movie. And I was just like,
No, wait, you watched them. Have you read the books?
I did read some of the books and I couldn't even get into the books. And that was before the movie. No, I think I tried to read the books after the movie came out.
Well, let me recommend something. If anyone in the chat, anyone who's interested in the Harry Potter books, listen to the audiobooks.
no.
Jim Dale is one of the best voice actors, most underappreciated voice actors you will find.
I was just gonna say that's how I listen to most books. Like I get a headache. I'm like nearsighted, so I get a headache reading.
Oh no, but Jim Dale, I remember listening to the audiobooks, and like I'll have memories of scenes in my head, and I'll think, oh yeah, that was in the movie, and that's like, no, it's from the books. The audiobooks are better than the movies. This guy has a massive range. His Gilderoy Lockhart from the second book is so much better than the movie. He has this way of saying Harry. It's hilarious. He does every voice. The female characters, he does a phenomenal job. My mom would not read the books. She would wait for the audiobooks to come out. No, I mean, as someone who just likes fantasy, my favorite book actually was the first one, which surprised people. I remember Rowling came to my town, in fact, when the books were still not popular, because the books didn't become popular until I think it was book 3 or 4, because she came in my town, which is not some big town. It's some small town in Jersey. And that was for the release of book 3. I even have an autographed copy of book 7. Or no, 6, with the illustrator autograph. I didn't get J.K. Rowling's, but I got the illustrator.
Look,
So-
Kat, I can't support a franchise that's transphobic. Okay, J.K. Rowling is very transphobic.
No, so Harry Potter wasn't the thing that was transphobic. It's the different
Yeah.
series she tried to make
I know.
that's transphobic.
Yeah, I know.
No,
They're
it's
all
the
idiots.
fact that no, it's the fact.
She says that women are. She says she says the true stuff out loud, and they don't like that. Which I don't really have a lot of sympathy for because she's a raging weirdo too. But at
Yes,
least
she
she
is.
Oh, don't get me started about some of the like she tried to like retcon the books after like oh no there was a Jewish kid and then it's
Yeah.
like something Goldstein or oh there's a Mexican kid
Yeah,
and it's
but
like
her,
something
the
stereotypical.
new movies did really that new movie did really super awesome.
no, well, so one of the things she also did is she put donations towards creating a shelter for abused women, and she says it should be only. And it's like, wait a minute, yeah, that makes sense. These are people who are victims of. You don't want that. But what's interesting, one of the things that's phenomenal about her is her how she got in. She wrote Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on napkins in a cafe because she was so poor she could not afford heat in her apartment, and she and her daughter, she would take them to the cafe so she could be warm, and she would write the books. She had nothing,
Yep.
and
Well,
so
she
now
was
she's
writing a story for her kid too, right?
Yep, she was. Yeah.
Yeah, I can
What I
respect
also-
that.
What I also
Yeah,
found
she-
very interesting about like the publishing was the fact that one second, I'm getting called by someone, but let me just finish with this point is that she got her start because the publisher of like the publishing firm she was working with, the publisher, like the leader of that publishing firm's daughter was like, "Hey dad, I want the second copy of this book." And he tried to find it and he couldn't. And so he messaged Rowling, and I don't know how true this is. It's not
Yeah.
I've never heard it from the guy's mouth, but if this is true, this is amazing. He was like, "Hey, finish the second book. My daughter wants to read it." And then that's why she got the rest of the series bankrolled. So I'm
I don't
being
know
called
about
for
that.
something. I'll be back in a sec.
I don't know about that story, but it's just interesting that I think she got turned down by a lot of people, which
Oh,
is
I probably guarantee it. It's so hard to get a book published if you don't have a background.
because it also reminds me, because it's interesting how so many of the things that end up like Warframe from DE, they said they couldn't publish it. They went from video game publisher to video game publisher. Every single one of them turned them down. They had to self-publish Warframe. And now they are getting calls from the very publishers who refuse them, asking them, how do we do free to play like you do?
It's usually how it works. Nobody wants you when you have when you're unknown and you have nothing to offer. But as soon as you got that cash, they're like, "Hey, how do we get some of that? How do we get our?" Yeah, it's just the way it's always going to be, unfortunately. Which is one of the great reasons why I think that YouTube and like Substack and stuff like this like gives people the opportunity to create on their own, to where it used to be just the talking heads on the news or just the people who got published in the newspaper or in books and stuff like that. Now you can go to Substack and you can follow anybody who wants to be a writer, and you can get followers there, which is great. Substack even has a podcast location. I upload the videos that I do for YouTube. I upload them on Substack. So it's like it's another form of platform. You can do just the audio only, or you can do the whole entire video. So
That's really interesting.
yeah, I think where we're going with the age of information gives people like us the opportunity to dispute the idiots who want to be like going, this is why House of the Dragon had the best LGBTQIA stare in, like, because Allison and Rhaenyra are looking at each other because they're friends. Yeah, you weren't that was one of the ones that you couldn't make the FNR that you couldn't make.
All smoldering looks are sexual in nature.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, no, it's like
they're friends. They've been friends since they're kids. They love each other. Like, it doesn't have to be a sexual thing.
yeah, it's like
But literally, I think it was Variety that did it. I think it was Variety that turned it, or Variety or Vice. But I think it was Variety. Was like, they had the best LGBT kid. I'm just like, oh god.
it's the same shit with Wednesday. Like, the fact that Wednesday and her roommate weren't like tongue kissing by the end pissed people off. Which
well, with Harry Potter, Remus. I mean, they said that one of the things that drove me nuts was the whole Harry Potter, where it's like Sirius Lupin and Sirius Black and Remus Lupin hugged like brothers in Harry Potter 3. No, all of a sudden, all over the internet was Remus Lupin and Sirius Black were. It's like, no, he married Nymphadora Tonks. He had a son with Nymphadora Tonks. I'm pretty sure he wasn't into Sirius Black or into men. He married Tonks, a woman.
Yeah. He made an orphan with Tonks. Like, come on, he's not gay.
Oh, no, you want to know why Lupin was? It was either she wanted to kill one of them off. It was either what's his name, Arthur Weasley or Remus Lupin. And I was really angry about the death of Remus Lupin. Don't get me wrong. I liked Remus Lupin. And I really didn't like the fact that she killed him off. They made him they made poor Teddy Lupin into an orphan.
Yeah.
Do you guys know that the Little Mermaid is now a trans allegory?
I've heard people argue the same thing about Ender's Game. Like, it'll
we're
trans or homo, and I'm just like, just quickly on Zenny's comment. No, Zenny. A guy and a girl can be a friend, but guys on guys and girls on girls, they what? No, they're clearly in the sheets. Totally.
I'm gonna say this about the Little Mermaid and the whole trans allegory thing. That is a little more on the nose than I think the people saying that are prepared for, because she kills herself at the end of that story.
In the original version, yes, not in the Disney version, but they're trying to shoehorn it into the Disney version, because not only is she black, but now she has to be a trans allegory, and they're hoping that Disney honors her LGBTQ plus IA legacy.
Yeah, you could also argue that. You could also you could also argue the same thing about Ender's Game, because Ender technically commits suicide.
I could argue words.
I could argue words.
I do it all the time on Twitter. Apparently,
Andrew Ender Wiggin does commit suicide. Like, he dies effectively by suicide. Yeah, he was an old man. He was going to die anyway. But I mean, if you want to argue that it's a gay or trans allegory, he does commit suicide, boys and girls. So
wait. Who's saying that Ender is a gay?
No,
or trans
that's
allegory?
Shadow saying that.
No. I don't. I don't. There are some.
I was going to say, you know who the author is, right?
Orson Scott Card. Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, it's the furthest fucking thing from gay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but the weirdos are always going to.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say the weirdos are always going to find a way to try to connect the two dots.
They do.
Sure.
They do realize that this is how you make people absolutely hate you and your cause. I mean, can you imagine if I were to go online every day and be like, so hard being a Muslim. There's not enough Muslim representation. All the oppressive non-Muslims. People will hate not just me, they'll hate Muslims.
Also, we'd know you're full of shit because there's like 2 billion Muslims.
Yeah, it's just in America.
No,
it's just in America you aren't represented everywhere.
Every group is whining about, and they believe them. So yeah, if I were on Twitter and I would be, if I want, I could play the victim card, but I don't, because I don't think there's anything. When I was a kid, I posted it on Twitter. I'm like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be the hero. I didn't want to be a victim. Why the hell do I be a victim? It's boring. You want to be the one who kicks ass and takes names. You want to be cool. You want to be.
But now you get victim points. So now you get stuff handed to you. You get like news articles written about you. So all of a sudden people are going to start like giving you money, and it's a circle of I want to be the most special. So now we have all these weirdos running around. And then
you mistime your goose step once and you get ripped to shreds.
The other thing I just found interesting, because there was recently a thing about about how GLAAD was rating Disney and all the other for LGBTQ representation, right? Yeah. One of the things I don't understand is, why is it just them? I mean, there are so many minorities out there that, they would be interesting to see things from their. I mean, how much Native American representation do we have? Just saying, why is it that everybody is bending over backwards for this GLAAD group, and they're the only ones that everyone goes that are whining about it? It's like 20% or something. It's like.
Well, everybody has their special victim day now. So obviously for Thanksgiving or Columbus Day, we have to acknowledge the indigenous people, the white people.
It's officially Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, I know.
On calendars and shit. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Samuel, could you please stop being indigenous with us? All right, we're trying to have a conversation.
I mean,
No, no one gets the South Park reference.
No.
I do. That's why I'm laughing. But
Okay.
no, and members of the LGBT community literally have, I think it was counted, they have some like 37 odd days a year or something like that. Different like queer coming out day or trans coming out, just like all different. Like I can
Not-
probably pull it up, and it's
And
just
Not to
June.
mention their whole month.
the whole month. Mother's Day, Father's Day,
Veterans Day,
Veterans Day,
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. It's all a day. It went from being like Pride was like a weekend, and then it turned into a week, and now it's a month, and it's like
And then you've also got some others like sprinkled throughout the year
yeah,
for different specific, like
For seven
overall
months.
Pride is specifically 1 month, but then you've got different cities and different states have their own shit, and it's just like you can you can accept that people want to live their lives a specific way if it's not hurting people, while also thinking that it's fucking bullshit to have all this stuff around at all times. It's infuriating, and if that
God,
makes
I
me a
just pulled
bigot,
them all up.
if that makes me a bigot, all right, I guess I'm a bigot.
No, I think you being a bigot makes you a bigot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to read them all, but just to showcase a couple. May 19th is Agender Pride Day. February 14th is Aromantic Spectrum Awareness Week. April 6th is International Asexuality Day. The last full week in October is Ace Week. I don't know what the hell that is.
Asexual week, probably.
Okay. 16th through the 22nd of September, Bisexual Awareness Week. Celebrate Bisexuality Day, September 23rd. Gender Fluid Visibility Week, 17th through 24th of October. Drag Day is July 16th. International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia is May 17th.
Okay, most of these are very new to me. Like I have never heard of a lot of this stuff.
Muggsy, not Muggsy.
I'm not even halfway done. That's the problem. I'm not even. International Day of Pink, the second Wednesday in April. Intersex Awareness Day, October 26th. Intersex Day of Remembrance, November 8th. Lesbian Day, October 8th. Lesbian Visibility Day, April 22nd. National Coming Out Day, October 11th. Non-Binary Awareness Week, the week starting Sunday, Monday, surrounding July 14th. Non-Binary People's Day, July 14th. Pansexual and Pan-Romantic Awareness Day, May 24th. Pronouns Day, the third Wednesday in October, and I'm leaving it there because it still keeps going.
I agree with Zenny.
None of those things are things.
I barely know what half of them are anymore.
Samael, they are things just like vegan cats are things.
Yeah.
Oh no,
That's not a thing.
no, and that actually people
tried to
think
make it a
it's
thing.
People tried to make it a
cats
thing.
are
and-
things, Samael.
Yeah, no,
I know they
it's
try to
not-
make it a
wait,
thing.
It's not even that the cat will die immediately. That's the problem. The worst part is you won't even realize it. Your cat will die slowly and in pain. It causes
Yep.
blindness and heart problems.
Yep.
It
Much
is
in the
a
same way that a
horrible thing.
person will if they're malnourished.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you seen Robert Downey Jr.?
Oh yeah,
What
yeah. The
happened?
guy looks like he's dying.
He does. He looks
looks
ill.
like- Yeah, he looks like somebody came up and sucked the fucking life out of him.
Did he marry freaking Amber Heard?
No, he became a vegan.
No, he's
Oh.
been with his wife a long time, but I guess they're vegans, and he has like a shirt with like a green footprint on it because I guess because veganism is earth friendly, and he looks like he's fucking dying. He looks like he has cancer. I'm not fucking around.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh,
show
Kevin
as
Smith
much-
looks like shit too.
Yeah, it doesn't show as much on Kevin Smith as it does Robert Downey Jr. because Robert Downey Jr. doesn't have like a bunch of excess folds of skin to like hide that shit.
Yeah.
Speaking about the vegan thing, my dad and I went to like this new Korean market thing that opened up near our house today for lunch. There's a thing called vegan kimchi, and I am questioning life. So
I'm
for those of
pretty
you who
sure
don't know-
all kimchi is vegan.
yeah, it's literally
It's
just
fucking
like
seaweed.
Yeah, it's fermented cabbage, like it's fermented cabbage or fermented seaweed or like fermented hyper fermented cucumber or like a mix of those things. It's not like how do you get non-vegan kimchi? Please tell me. I would love to eat that.
I don't know, a nice bolognese.
Is it like fermented skin or something? But we call that pork rinds. Like
Yeah. They do too. That's the thing. That's the thing in a lot of Asian markets, especially Korea. They're very big on the meats.
Yeah.
That's why Korean barbecue is such a popular thing the world over, is because they do meat really well. But
Yeah.
Yeah, kimchi is pure vegetation.
Yeah. Well, speaking like on the Korean thing, they do have a lot of meats and stuff as well, but they've also got a very like heavy vegetable focused diet and stuff like that. When my family was living in South Korea, it was there was a lot of fish and there was a lot of beef and there was a lot of stuff like that, but you also had a lot of dishes that were just rice and vegetables and then like an egg on top.
Well, sure.
Which,
Rice is a staple of the region, you know.
Yeah, it's like our bread because like it grows really well. It grows everywhere.
Well, it's not so much bread. Bread is a product of our staple, which is wheat.
Grain. It's their grain. You get my point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys are making me realize just how much I really, really, really am, just how messed up we are. Especially when you listen to people talking about the state of the economy, and then it's like, yeah, but we got to have our awareness days and our veganism.
Oh, we also got to throw $10 billion at Ukraine.
Don't get me started.
Which, to be fair, I can kind of see the argument
No, I can't see any argument.
No. Depleting Russia's military assets, I can squint and understand that argument, but at the same time...
No, because we should be friends with Russia. We have a bigger problem with China. We should have been working with Russia. So depleting Russia is probably not what we want to do. We want to deplete China.
Samuel, share that real quick.
Well, I'd love to. It's not my stream.
Oh, sorry. Shadow. My bad, dude.
Yeah, long ass. Oh, what the fuck? Is that Robert Downey Jr.?
Wait, that's Robert Downey Jr.?
What happened to him?
He looks like he has cancer.
Well,
he got rid of his beard.
He is getting older, but number two, he is also cut like animal products out of his fucking diet.
Mm-hmm. That's what the green flip. Yeah. Oh, he just looks like he has cancer, dude.
Yeah, he looks like he has cancer. He does look like he
looks like he's on chemo.
But no, Kat, I do agree. China is the bigger problem. We should be more focused on them and Taiwan, not Russia and Ukraine.
Disagree.
Really?
Yep. I mean, I get that we have certain agreements that we should honor with Taiwan in the case that China decides to actually pull some real shit. But I don't think that China's in the position of strength that they want everybody to think that they're in currently.
They're not.
Their economy is collapsing. Their people are turning on them. They do not have the capability to be the threat that they were 10 years ago.
Yeah,
they just don't. Russia is, Again, Russia has never been our friend, not really.
No,
but that doesn't mean that they're the current threat. Kerry, Doug McCoy is convinced that it's Iran that's the problem. I disagree. I think they're a problem, especially for Iranian people. It's Germany we should be looking to.
If I had that picture,
WEF is the threat.
Yeah.
Oh, the WEF is definitely the threat.
NATO is the threat. The United Nations is the threat, and we're ostensibly on their side.
Our own politicians are the threat.
We got bigger problems though than even worldwide. We have big problems here with talk of food shortages, inflation.
A lot of that goes back to WEF policies and cronies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and it's actually this globalism shit is going to get a lot of people killed as well. Like the war in Ukraine, for example. I recently watched a video from this guy named What If Alfist. He's like a speculator of like how humanity is going to turn out in like 10, 20 years using historical trends and current trends. And the war between Russia and Ukraine, as well as a few other issues with agricultural development, are going to cause massive famines worldwide. Some of the richer countries like Brazil and Saudi Arabia and stuff will be able to ride it out.
Oh, Brazil ain't gonna be rich for long, dude. They just elected another commie.
They've got the money to ride out the famine that's going to hit the world this year and next year. But some of the less developed countries who rely on either imported fertilizer or imported food from other nations are going to be fucking screwed. And then going to China, I actually
Egypt.
For one of my final papers, I actually did some research on the one-child policy and how it's affecting China's economy. By 2050, they're losing 400 million people out of their workforce, not accounting for if people decide to mass emigrate, or other bad stuff happens, like another pandemic, or they have to start killing their people. And on top of that, like Samael said, it seems like they're done with this bullshit now. I have
real quick. Why does everybody pronounce the long I on that? Samael. It's Samuel. It's like Samuel, but with an I, not a U.
I said I say Samael because fuck. Why do I say Samael? There was something I grew up watching or something I watched in like high
Yeah,
school.
you're pronouncing it like the other bad angel, Samael, which has an A in it, by the way, not an I.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just the way that Samael is spelled, I've always said it as Samael.
Different dude.
Okay, Samael. Sorry, man.
Just
No,
saying.
no, the thing.
Calm down, Samael. I've
That's
never
it.
said it. I've never said it because well, the first time I was going to have you on Friday night, it auto corrected to the way that you're supposed to say it, and then you're like, I don't know who this Samuel guy. It's just like, and you spelled it, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
No, well,
Yeah.
I think the biggest threat I feel from China is the fact that we are becoming China, which is why I hope I've been wanting to post on Twitter. Make 2023 the year we kill the woke, because that is communism, and that's why even though they may not have, they may not have the economy or whatever, but they are destroying our culture.
Oh, the Chinese fucking hate communists.
No,
Like-
the Chinese people might hate communists. The Chinese party are fucking communists.
I mean, that's what they want. That's what they want to be, but they're
Well,
not. They're actually worse
no,
capitalists than
They
we
have
are.
they have been forced to accept
exactly.
certain aspects of
Yeah.
capitalism because, as it turns out, communism after the Great Reset, they figured this shit out.
Yeah.
Or not the Great Reset, the Great Leap Forward. They figured this shit out. As it turns out, communism doesn't
Doesn't-
fucking work.
Yeah.
Not pure
doesn't-
communism. So they
doesn't pay very well.
still adhere to a lot of the shit, and they still like say, "Oh yes, we're definitely communism," but they have been forced by the laws of the fucking universe to accept that capitalism, at least aspects of it, are necessary to move forward.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it soon enough because their economy is fucking collapsing underneath them.
It is.
Well,
That's
also part of that is also part of that is aspects of capitalism are actually fucking them over because of like higher quality of living and how it's more expensive to raise a child now. So you have the issue of like what you've got going on in Spain, the US, Germany, all these other first world countries where it's expensive to have kids to raise families. So that factor's coming in. But then also in China, there's very little support, both public sector. Well, there's not even a public sector, I mean, private sector, and there's very little government assistance for this for elder care. It's pretty much, unless your elder has a very specific. Howdy, Thug McCoy. How you doing?
Ah. Hey,
What's up,
Doug
Carrie?
McCoy.
You're basically the gist of it is a person's child is expected to care for them in their elder years, save for like very, very specific forms of medical care, which are provided by the state. But stuff like it's stuff that's worse than say arthritis or Alzheimer's or shit like that, which are actually surprisingly significantly more likely to occur to Chinese people. Not there's a larger Chinese population, therefore they have more of these illnesses, but per 100,000, you're more likely to suffer from elderly-based diseases than you are in other nations. So
Sure, they've got a number of factors working against them. Number one,
Yeah.
in their urban centers, the pollution is unreal.
Well,
Yes.
China doesn't have the capital that everybody thinks it does. China is wealthy in the sense of like Scientology is wealthy because they have to buy all these buildings, they have to furnish all these buildings, so it counts as having property value because China has empty cities like Scientology has empty buildings.
Yeah.
Because they have to put their money somewhere. So the thing is that eventually that all collapses because you have a giant city that has nobody in it doing anything. So the problem is that China, even though yes, they have a very large outstanding army, they have a very large navy. Their navy is now bigger than ours. It's not more advanced than ours, but it is physically bigger than ours.
Some of their movies are actually pretty good. Yeah, I'll give you
I
that.
think
but-
I've ever seen a Russian movie, to be honest. So I'll take your word for it.
two I very much recommend. I believe Battleship Pontiac. I'm gonna Google it right now. But then the other one is a Major Grum Plague Doctor. I recommend both very much. Pontemakin.
Yeah.
I heard the
Pontemakin.
Polish fan film of The Witcher is actually very, very fan series of The Witcher is very, very good. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's isn't it not officially licensed though, or something like that? Or
Yeah,
is,
I think it's
yeah,
on
it's a fan
YouTube
film.
too.
yeah.
Yeah, which is very depressing. I haven't seen it, but I mean, like, if it's a fan made product, it's probably better than the stuff Netflix is making. And
Oh God.
I trust Kerry. He's never said anything I disagree with, aside from maybe Caesar being German.
Oh no. Carrie's not. He's not wrong.
Hey,
but
Snug McCoy
also-
to you,
but-
buddy.
My dad and I
Hey.
actually, my dad and I were actually talking about this fairly recently. I'm quickly going to pull this up on Google Maps. It's showing up on stream, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so
it's-
you've
it-
actually
It
Yeah.
will. There's about a 15-second delay between the actual stream and
right, but I
the
mean,
stream
like
on
you
YouTube
guys,
and this.
it came up.
Yeah,
for
it's
you
up.
guys.
It's up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been watching the
So-
stream too.
I
Yes,
have
you've-
been not playing video games and watching the stream.
No,
Yes.
just apparently yelling like the typical Muslim you are. No, I'm just kidding.
Good, good, good.
Uh,
The angry
Ali!
Muslim, some angry Muslim stereotype lives.
Sabi to عايزين من انتوا عاملين quality انتوا عايزين يكلمكم بالعربي اوكي هكلمكم بالعربي طلعوا عيني ليه
Simsaladim bombazaladuja
اه مالكم ايه المشكله
my dad and I were actually. So my dad and I were talking about like.
sound as angry as German.
No, but
I
I'm
agree.
feeling it sounds a little angry, but not like German. Because like there was someone who was like he saw a video about two Arabs yelling at each other, and like what are they saying? It's like, have a nice day.
I'm crazy.
It's- Did you ever see that old Far Side where the two dogs are barking at each other and this guy's like, I wonder what they're saying, and one of them's saying like, hey, how are you? The other one's like, I'm good. How are you?
Have you seen like there's like a video that I think it's been on like Instagram and stuff where there's like two dogs between a fence barking, just like snarl at each other, and then
Yeah.
the fence opens and all of a sudden they just stop and they stare at each other and they're just like calm. It's
Oh,
like
yeah, no, my dad and I took our dogs to a dog park today, and you've got like this. It looked like a German Shepherd mixed with something with longer hair. It was like standing by the gate, and it's just like barking at them. And we open up the gate, and they just start like sniffing each other and just vibing. It's hilarious. But so, yeah, so back to the map. Again, my dad and I were talking about this fairly recently. China is locked down by American allies. You've got Japan and South Korea. You've got Taiwan to some extent. You got the Philippines, and then you got Indonesia, China. If they ever did want to start a fight, they're slightly better than Russia because they can. Russia needs to only do stuff during the summer because they don't have a warm water port. China has the problem of all their ports are locked in.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're
just
militarily. It doesn't matter. That's the problem. We're losing to them culturally. We are turning into China. When
No, we're not. We're being turned into something even China doesn't want to be.
well,
Do
we're
you, really
going through.
think, do you really think China wants all this like bullshit on TikTok?
No, but
they
what? But
weren't
no,
even
but they're controlling the. They're taking. That's how they're taking away freedom of speech and freedom of our basic freedoms. They're using that.
It's a
that-
cultural revolution.
Yeah.
Which is what Russia's been through, China's been through it, and that's why Vladimir Putin literally sits there and uses the nonsensical bullshit. And there was even an interview of him a few years ago. He's like, I know what's going on in America. He's like, it's the same thing that happened here in Russia back in the early 1900s. It's a cultural revolution where basically the educated elites have decided that this is how things are going to be. This is how we define gender. This is how we define all of these things. And it's literally history repeating itself. So that's why
Right.
when he talks to the Russian media, it's not hard for him to be like, do you want what's going on in America to come on over here? Do you want to start identifying little boys as like little girls? It's like, and then and the people of Russia see that and they go, no, it's
Yeah,
it's not hard to make us look like a clown show. It's
Oh,
really not.
I don't think it
Absolutely.
was referred to as a cultural revolution, but the same thing happened in the early part of the 20th century during the Weimar Republic of Germany.
And a certain mustache model came out of that.
Yeah, but that's why I'm what the thing is, the problem is a lot of us are not for that. But we're all going to suffer for it because of all the crazy people. It's like, I mean, our economy's suffering, our finances are suffering, jobs are being lost because of these idiots. And it's like, I look, I wish we can ignore them and just leave them to their own loony bin. I'm just afraid that our country is gonna, the fact that freedom of speech is debated. How is this? And then they go on about how, I mean, I've already had this rant before where it's like, how can you consider freedom of speech a depression towards minorities when the only thing that allows minorities to speak unpopular opinions is freedom of speech. So
Yeah.
it's just, or the fact that Jordan Peterson is dealing with a potential re-education camp.
Well, there is a big difference. Is that all of these these unfortunate things that have happened in the world is their media gets taken over and gets propagandized, right? And so as long as we have people like Elon Musk at Twitter who is trying to change things, and as long as we people like us even on YouTube, that there YouTubers, who talk about pop culture and news and politics and stuff like that, get more views than the mainstream media does on a daily basis. YouTube has astronomical amount of views.
Man, we're not the alt media anymore. We are the media.
We are the media, and that's why people don't want to listen to these asshats. Like even at Fox News, like going, I don't listen to Fox News.
I never listen to Fox News. I'm actually
I actually just listened to Tucker Carlson, and
well, he's about the only sane one that seems to be there, and I don't even agree with 100% with all his takes either. But at least he has the at least he has the balls to speak out about it. About some of the stuff. Like I'm to the point where I'm done giving money to Ukraine. You keep sending all this money to Ukraine. You're starting to make me pro Russia, dude.
No,
sorry.
But they
eggs are $6 a carton. The hell is your problem?
Yeah,
I was literally talking to this. Because she was watching the stuff with the Speaker of the House. So she's like, when I left to come to work, she's like, they were on like round numbers, like she's like 6 or 7, and I said, yeah, they just completed round number 10, and
just completed round 10.
Yeah, but literally, but before I went to the store and then got home to jump on the stream because I had forgot, and literally they had completed round 10 like 20 minutes before that. Dude still hasn't won. He still doesn't have enough votes, and he's such an asshole that he doesn't realize that nobody wants his numbnuts ass in that position. Especially when Zelensky came and you had like the little Ukrainian pocket thing, and it's like, no, fuck you. There's one flag. It's this flag. For this country, there's one flag.
Well, 2 flags: the American flag and the Texan flag.
It's a state flag.
No. We're not doing this like Lone Star State is its own thing. Bullshit.
I'm a pseudo Texan. I am legally obligated.
I know what you say that. No, you're not. You're legally obligated to scout bullshit about Texas. You know what happened with Texas? They were losing. They were fucking losing to Santa Ana, and they begged the U.S. for help. And the price was, now you're one of us.
Look, okay, I am legally obligated when I signed my contract to get my cowboy hat and my shotgun. I got America. So it's
Texas is not a separate country.
Texas, everyone.
I got more than one goddamn gun. I don't mean I have that I'm wearing a cowboy hat and I'm like stepping for Texas. Look, Texas is great. That's fine. I love the whole entire United States, warts and all. Even if California is out of its fucking mind. There should have never been a Ukrainian flag in the Senate. And this asshole, everybody's fawning over this butt hugger, like going, you know what? I want to backjaw that freaking dude, because seriously, like he is taking billions of dollars from us, and his wife is going to Paris and spending $40,000. Where do you think he got all that money from? And it's like, and then there's people on Twitter like going, well, you're in the minority opinion. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No, most Americans are sick. Even the Democrats I know who voted for Biden are like, they're sick of it. They are absolutely sick of it, which is one of the reasons why as much as I know it probably sounds like I want DeSantis to run, because I know people who are never Trumpers, who are Democrats, who will, I think, given time, will vote for, if it's between Biden and DeSantis, we'll vote for DeSantis, but not Trump.
See, I disagree. I think
I know Democrats who will vote for
not politicians, because the majority of politicians, and I'm going to say probably a good like 85% of them, are all bought and paid for, and that's why they're standing ovation for Zelensky. Like, hey, he's a celebrity. No, he's not a fucking celebrity. He's just another part of the problem.
He's a fascist, from what I'm hearing. He's horrible.
Well, and there's literally neo-Nazis in Ukraine. We went from Ukraine bad and corrupt because of Trump, and now we're like, yeah, Ukraine, let's give them all the money.
Oh wait,
They've
Ryan, you mean the
banned,
Ryan, you mean the Asimov
sector-
battalion?
They've banned
Azov,
what
not
is it?
Asimov.
Wait,
Azov?
it's
Yeah.
Sorry,
not
my bad.
Yeah, the Azov
denominations
battalion.
of-
I have heard so many different things about the Azov battalion. Like I've heard they were founded by neo-Nazis but aren't anymore, that they were good, and then now they're neo-Nazis, that they're only half neo-Nazi. Like so much shit about them.
No, but
Yeah,
he's
that's-
banned news media that doesn't agree with him. He's banned denominations of Christianity. There's talk of them that they will arrest you for praying in the wrong way.
Mhm.
I'm not
Yeah.
even Christian, and I find that horrifying.
It's the First Amendment. Like it's the Second Amendment is partly about disarming citizenry, but it's also about establishing precedent that you will need a piece of paper in order to execute your constitutional rights. Eventually, you will need a paper for your First Amendment rights and your Fourth Amendment rights and your Fifth and your Sixth. Oh, you're not paying your taxes for your Sixth Amendment rights? Well, you're going in the fucking slammer.
Well, and that's also one reason that the United States is not going to turn into any of these other countries. There are 412 million firearms in the hands of Americans as it is. There is more firearms than there are people in this country.
Nice.
And to think that all these mouth breathers who want to turn in you need to turn in your guns and like going, you can fuck right the hell off.
see,
Go ahead
In-
and
in the
come on
hands of-
come to my property and try to take my gun.
Yeah, and
So
these
I'm
guns
going to
are in
end
the
one way
hands
for
of
you.
Yeah, these guns are in the hands of a population that is like twice the size of most of Europe put together.
And that's another reason too, is that the United States, regardless of our whole entire military combined, not including the Coast Guard, is literally the largest military on earth.
um,
Well,
assuming-
they legitimately don't count the Coast Guard in that, because that's what the Coast Guard is. Look, they're a law enforcement agency. They're great. I have no problem with the Coast Guard, but they don't include that.
My mom's ex Coast
Literally,
Guard.
literally, the whole entire U.S. military, Coast Guard included, and all the armed citizens can take on the rest of the world.
You're talking about fucking Governor Northam, right? I don't
No,
think we've
well,
ever been
well,
told
Phil
if you-
Murphy's trying to fight that Supreme Court thing. He just signed into law something that is against that Supreme Court ruling about conceal and carry and how you can't. And it's like, F you, Phil Murphy. I the thing is, I've always hated him. It has nothing to do with him being a Democrat. I hate Phil Murphy. I truly hate Phil Murphy. There are few people I hate more than that scumbag who destroyed my state and who moved to New Jersey.
I'm just reading some of the comments. Wait, Kara,
Like,
you're Coast Guard?
I know a
Yes, he
guy
is.
who
Really?
I worked with who was Coast Guard. He ended up no-
Just ask him what the physical fitness requirements are for the Coast Guard. It should tell you
Look,
everything.
I
you need to
can't
know.
talk shit about the Coast Guard. My mom's ex Coast Guard. She'll break down the door and start yelling at me.
Wait,
I
isn't it like three
And
pull-ups?
because I was in the army.
Wait, isn't it like 3 pull-ups and 20 push-ups or something? Because I can do 3 pull-ups.
There's no-
No, it's 3 pull-ups for the Marine Corps.
Oh, I can do 3 pull-ups.
But no, we all of us
Oh,
military
here's
guys,
what's
we
even
like to talk
better.
a lot of shit. We just fuck around. It's
Yeah, no. So my dad's Navy and my mom's Coast Guard. And back when I wasn't terrified of getting throttled, I would refer to the Coast Guard as the JV Navy. And let's just say if my family believed in corporal punishment, I probably wouldn't have full function over my arms with how many times I said that joke.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, and I even had this conversation with a guy who got mad at Nina Infinity on Twitter because she said the U.S. military has become a joke, and I'm like, it kind of has.
Yeah.
And he also made a good point too, and he's like, well, look, because him and I were in about the same time. He's like, well, when we were in, back in like in the early 2000s, he's like, the older guys kind of thought that our basic training and our standards were kind of lax and kind of like bullshit. And it's like, well, you're not wrong. Because speaking from today's standards, what I see is that there are a bunch of kids coming out of high school who cannot make. Shadok isn't exactly.
I
don't know what that's a reference to.
No, because I said because referring to the Navy, referring to the Coast Guard as Navy's JV. Yeah, no. If I didn't want to dox myself or my mom, I would actually ask Carrie if he knew her. Granted, it's been like
It said
She
Coast
let-
Guard,
she-
it's so big.
she left around 2003, 2004 because I ruined her life. So,
Is that what she tells you?
no, it's what my dad says.
Oh, okay. Well, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've actually like I was looking at some of the standards, and granted, I can't meet all of them because I'm a fat fuck right now. But no, I was like, it's like not counting the women's, which are pathetically like women only need to do like 1 pull-up or like 10 push-ups.
I can do it
it's-
easily.
Yeah. Now, granted, I imagine the actual boot camp would probably kill people who can barely meet the minimums.
No,
I
I
was
can more
talking.
than barely. I can more than barely meet the minimums. But then I've been starting to work more on it because I can do a 55-inch TV, but my goal is to be able to go as high as 65-inch. So I've been doing pull-ups and push-ups and
I
Like
don't know
that.
how that. I do not know how that translates into military fitness. But
no,
I was
but
actually-
I can do 3
Means Cat will
pull-ups.
kick your ass.
Yeah.
She would.
Oh, she
kick
probably
your ass,
could.
dude. She would kick.
I
No,
your
mean-
ass.
no. The worst part is yesterday I was carrying out a 55-inch and I'm walking.
Oh, I
and
love
suddenly-
Angry Cops. Sorry, I love Angry Cops. He's hilarious.
I've seen a few of his videos.
Oh, on Instagram, fucking hilarious. I love it.
And the guy, so I'm carrying this TV out, and then all of a sudden I'm trying to move one way, and it's like the guy takes it from behind me and he wants to help me. I'm like, no, I got it. I'm like, he's like, are you sure? I'm like, let go of it because he was moving in one way and I couldn't move because, you know, you have someone you're holding one end of the TV on your shoulder, you can't see the person behind you. It was so annoying. It's like it's hilarious too how these people. The moment they see who carries out their TV, they're like, "Here, let me help you." It's like, no, I got it. I got it.
Well,
I
in
swear.
some cases, it could just be like coming out like out of a little level of politeness. 8:30.
No, I know they're
PM.
usually being even the guy who got in my way with the TV. I know they're being polite. It's just it's hilarious how like you'll all of a sudden they're like immediately like here let me help you now. It's like
Yeah,
No, I get it.
Shadow,
Like,
I think what he's talking about in the chat there, what Brown One's talking about is that when you scheduled this on YouTube, it showed up for scheduled in my time zone at 6:30 p.m., even though we started 2 hours earlier than that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I noticed that, and I'm like, I swear I put 5:30 my time. So I don't. And then I switched it to 5:30. Like it was for some reason like 6 or 7:30 my time, and I switched it back to 5:30, and it's like I don't know what happened. Like it's great. Like I genuinely don't know.
all right,
what
next
it
week
did.
let's see if I can do it. All right.
Yeah. Well, evidently this week has shown I'm
Well-
horrible at technology.
Yeah, you've got this see on your StreamYard screen. You've got this button like right up the top that says "Edit."
Yeah, no, I ended up doing that, and it ended up fixing it.
Yeah.
Because I noticed, I'm
agree
like,
with
wait a
Doug
minute, I'm starting
McCoy.
in like 10
So,
minutes. Why
pro
is
tip-
it?
Pro tip though: once the stream has started, any edits that you make on StreamYards don't show up on YouTube.
Yeah,
Right,
you
well,
have to go
into
YouTube.
you have to edit the YouTube video at that
Yeah.
point once it's
Yeah, you
live.
gotta go into
Gotcha,
studio.
Okay.
No, I'll have to say just one thing about using StreamYards that is a freaking pain in the ass.
I like
What?
it.
I get non-stop ads for StreamYards, and they are the most annoying ads possible.
Get premium.
No, because
No,
it's
I'm not
expensive.
giving money to YouTube.
Oh, fine. Don't get premium, but you know, like I don't see these ads you're talking
Non-stop
about. Ever.
Wait,
like,
do you get
not-
ads on YouTube?
Yeah,
Like,
ads on
yeah,
YouTube for StreamYard.
Get ad blocker.
because I'm trying to help the content creators.
Yeah, I don't really. I super chat and shit when I can. So it's like I don't. I know. I get it. It's kind of a dick move, but I know other content creators have ad blocker. Besides, if you're trying to like show a trailer on YouTube and you don't have ad blocker, it literally is going to show an ad in the middle of the trailer.
Oh yeah, no,
And so no, it's like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot because
Yeah.
nobody wants to have to sit there and watch you wait in a video for 5 seconds to click through the ad.
Well,
Yeah,
also,
see,
some channels that have ads on them aren't making any money off the ads, whether it be they don't
Yeah.
want to make money off the ads, or if
Oh,
it's like,
don't get me started. No, I got an alert. So you know that song that Shadow did, the Bezos song? There's like
I
30
did
it was-
not put that. I did not
No,
play
you
that.
didn't.
I
No,
just
you-
sang
hey,
it.
hey,
That
hey,
should
no,
be
no,
for
I'm not.
use.
Hey, Shadow.
Whoa.
So he
I
I
make her
was
mad for
trying
some
to
reason.
explain this Bezos song that Shadow mentioned during my live stream. Okay, I brought up the song on my phone. It had to be like 30 seconds long. The live stream, Shadow. God, you and the singing randomly.
Yes. Well, in this case, it was just to give context. Continue.
No, we don't need context. Song,
Yes, we do.
I started to play it on my live stream through my it only caught it from my phone. I didn't even bring up the video. I was listening to it on my phone, and you heard it through the microphone. Okay, it couldn't have been more than 30 seconds. The live stream itself was 7 hours, and they're like,
And
we
you got a copyright strike.
I got a copyright claim, and they're like, if your video has been monetized, it will be demonetized. Which I never monetized my live streams because I don't want to deal with the Ekip. I should try monetizing them. And they're like, or the owner of the music may monetize your video and claim the profits from it. It's like, wait a minute, this live stream was 7 hours long, and you have less than a minute in 7 hours.
Yeah. Oh, you want to hear an even worse story? A few years back, Corridor Digital made like a Star Wars Christmas special thing, and they used 3 seconds of the Imperial March as the base. They basically took the Imperial March, some other sounds, and they basically made a Christmassy Imperial March that played for 3 seconds of their video. And it was whatever company. Apparently, there's a company that apparently owns the rights to the Star Wars music. That's a subcontracted group of Lucasfilms or something. Copyright struck the video and demanded all the revenue from the video.
How long?
And
was
it's
the video?
it just puts ad revenue paid to copyright owner. You can dispute it. I do it all the time.
Yeah, they did. And it's just they did a breakdown of exactly so it's half of the video is visual, half the video is audio, and they broke
how
down
long
much
is
of
the video, though?
It was I don't know, I'll try to find it. It
Was
was
it
a short video, don't get me wrong. It was a short video, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
no,
it was
mine is 7 hours, so mine proportionally is
Doesn't
worth
matter. Anything under even in anything over 10 seconds you'll get hit for.
Yeah, but no, what also was the interesting thing, and YouTube likes to do that. It was I believe Darth Santa Strikes Back. It's 3 minutes and 28 seconds.
So
what I think is interesting is the really interesting thing is if I remember correctly, the video, it was green. There was going to be no copyright strikes when they put it up. Otherwise, they could have gone back and fixed it. It would have been an easy fix. They just remake 6 or 7 seconds of audio, plug it back into the video. It wouldn't have taken much time to fix. YouTube said there would be no issues. They put it on. A couple hours later, it's copyrighted and they have to dispute it. It's fucking bullshit. And
it's also a bot that does it too. It's not necessarily. And then once you dispute it, that's when it actually goes to somebody like an actual human being. Now, depending on who you get, they could be a bunch of shitheads. Most of them are.
I don't know if anyone knows about the situation, but a channel by the name of Rimmy Down Under, he recently did a couple of videos talking about one 10-minute video and then a recent hour-long video breaking down a lot of the issues that have been going on. Where he made a video on the not Dead Stranding, the Calypso Protocol, where his video got age restricted for a 3-second kill animation that other channels like IGN had played, hadn't had any issues. Their videos were not age restricted, so he's like, "Hey guys, why the fuck is my video age restricted?" So they age restricted. I don't think it was just him. I think there were some other factors, but they age restricted those other videos as well.
YouTube doesn't like blood, and at the same time, if you're not a legacy source or an established media source, then you don't have a deal with YouTube.
Yeah,
you're just Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, swinging in the wind. To where IGN is going to be able to do whatever they want.
And what gets even worse is they're applying they've got those new rules for monetize. I haven't had to deal with them because I don't monetize any of my content because I'm too small for that. But you've got, for example, swearing. If you swear a certain amount during the video, not a specific number, just too much swearing, not specified, or if you swear within 30 seconds of the video, or if there's too much violence, doesn't specify what counts as too much violence.
Nope.
Your video will be age restricted, taken down, copyright struck, or stuff.
It also doesn't specify what counts as violence, period.
Yeah, exactly. They can also still run ads on your channel. It's just you won't see a dime of it. And they are retroactively applying this to the channels, and that also negatively affects the algorithm. Because
they're not only retroactive. Dude, they're not only retroactively applying this shit to channels, they're actually going back to older content on certain channels and taking videos down.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're pulling people's old content from years ago.
Yeah. which negatively affects the algorithm. And also, what Carrie's saying, this reminds me of another fucked up story. There's this guy I love listening music from called Miracle of Sound, and he got a he makes his own music. The only things that he doesn't use in his videos is footage from like games, shows, that sort of stuff, because like he makes a lot of covers for games and shows and things like that. He makes his own music, records the instruments, like does all that shit, got copyright struck for the music in one of his videos. One of the music songs he made got copyright struck, and he lost like a week of revenue while it was being disputed for a song that was his, that he had the evidence was his.
Yeah,
And
odds
YouTube
are
was
it
just
was
like-
the melody or the bass line or some shit was disputed. This happens all the time in the music
Yep.
world. Not
Yeah.
just on YouTube. It happens all the time in the music world because honestly, there are only so many ways to string notes together.
Yeah, which that's like I'm pretty sure that's fucking illegal. Like you can't you can't copyright a specific noise.
Not
You can
true.
copyright a specific combination of noises, but even then, like a game design, it's very very specific, very very like you either got to have a fuck ton of money to bribe someone, or it's got to be a very specific combination of things.
Dude, Paris Hilton copyrighted the phrase "that's hot." You can copyright just about anything.
Oh, that's
Yep.
fucking bullshit.
Yep.
You know, hell, Donald Trump copyrighted "You're fired" or tried to, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right, I'm trying to do a dispute on this just out of
Well, I mean-
curiosity. What
Yeah,
happened?
sorry.
So I put down the
Do you have the
fair use because I was commenting about it. I mean, this thing isn't even official.
You have the right terminology, and did you include the added phrases that YouTube requires you to put?
What?
Okay, hold on. Let me.
yeah. There's a specific phrasing that you need to have in your description.
Yeah, God bless America and everybody. And hold on, let me pull it up. Okay, so this is
I said it was an 8-hour live stream, and you cut me over something where I was talking about it for 30 seconds.
this is what my copyright dispute says, and I'll tell you what I've wrote and what you have to include from YouTube. So this is the part I wrote. To whom this concerns, my video is protected under fair use law. I have transformed the original content. Slide the other way, dude. I have transformed the original content with commentary and criticism as pertinent to fair use law. We are not in competing markets, thus this makes my transformed content through commentary and criticism solely my property. My audience watches my content for the sole purpose of its transformed work of commentary and criticism. Again, the transformation makes this content my sole property. And that's what I wrote. And then you have to add this along with it. This is what YouTube requires you to put. It says, I consent to the jurisdiction of the federal district court for the district in which my address is located, or if my address is outside the United States, the judicial district in which YouTube is located, and will accept service of process from the claimant. In addition, I swear under penalty of perjury that I have good faith belief that this material was removed or disabled as a result of a mistake or misidentification of the material to be removed or disabled.
Can you send me that in a DM?
Yes, I can.
That is such lawyer speak.
No, but I mean,
That's
the
what's
crazy
required,
thing
man.
is, you made a valid point. Where like the people who view my videos, I'm not in a competing market over that stupid Bezos clip.
And you need to say that because that's why they copyright that. That's why they claimed it, not struck, claimed. They claimed it because they're trying to say that you're trying to duplicate what they've already done. And when you're saying, no, I am not in a competing market with you. This is for my own audience members who watch my content for said reason.
It was a gaming live stream.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was 8. I thought I was wrong. It wasn't 7 hours. It was 8 hours.
That's
And
not healthy. You gotta mix some like
Yeah.
jelly donuts in there, Kat. You gotta mix something into your sedentary lifestyle.
What are you talking about? I bike 5 miles a day and I'm on my feet for 8.
Yeah, she's got you there, dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I remember I was complaining about like first couple of days I was biking on campus.
Okay,
and she
I
was
sent it to you.
"Bro, that's
Thank you
rookie
so
numbers."
much.
You're welcome.
So I bike 5 miles a day. The only time I don't bike is on Saturday and Sunday. Even when I was furloughed before I got my second job, I would bike between 10 and 15 miles a day. Yeah, no, I'm on my feet nonstop, running from one side. I mean, I once wore my Fitbit, which I have to find the charger for, and it put me down for like 16 miles of walking. Because when you think about it, I'm not stopping 8 hours, half an hour per mile. I didn't believe it at first, but several days in a row, it was like between 15 and 16 miles a day. So, hate to break it to you, Shadow, and it shows. I'm not. When you complain about your weight, I don't complain about mine.
Yeah. Well, also part of it is just I have very little portion control. So like I will make for example, I will make food that could probably feed 2 people, and
Then
I
send
will,
it
like,
to me. I'm hungry.
I can't I'll make like some beef, I'll make some rice, and I'll make some frozen vegetables in with the beef, and I'll make some rice, and that could be enough for like 2 or 3 people. And I just, if it's there, I can't leave it there for tomorrow as like breakfast or something. I just want to eat it. And
So
I know
I'll,
it's not, it's a mindset I'm trying to fix, and I'm getting a little bit better at it. But if I could control my portion control, and if I could actually go to the fucking gym, me being a fat fuck wouldn't be a problem anymore.
No, well, here's something that will blow people away. Everyone's like, never come between a woman and her chocolate. I like chocolate, but I'm not like I don't go actively out to find it.
But you do that with Red Bull.
Yeah, but actually, you know what? I've started something new for the new year. So I used to take 2 cans of Red Bull a day to work. Now I take a bottle of a Gatorade. So I have 1 can of Red Bull and 1 Gatorade, and it actually made a difference. I noticed just in the last few days that I have more energy.
Kat, you know why they say don't come between a woman and her chocolate?
Because it's during her time of month and she likes her chocolate.
No, it's not just because they like the chocolate. It's because chocolate activates certain parts of the brain
Oh.
that orgasm does.
Oh,
See you,
I did
Karen.
not know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, shooting guns. Shooting guns is the exact same part of the brain.
See you later,
apparently.
Carrie.
Yeah, see you, thank McCoy.
But yeah, it's because there's chemicals in chocolate. If you eat enough chocolate, it will cause the same biochemical response in your body that an orgasm would.
I
Yeah,
did not know that, but I'm not a fan. I like. Don't get me wrong. I like chocolate, but I don't.
You've clearly not had enough of it at one time to understand what they're talking about.
No, I'm definitely not. I mean, the most recent.
Primal.
I mean, the most recent chocolate I had was the guys I work with were going next door and they're like, you want anything? And so one of them brought me back a peppermint patty because they know I like the peppermint patties. But in general, I don't think I ate any chocolate during the holidays.
Yeah.
Like we
fair
didn't
enough.
even have they brought us candy and food for at work, but it was all stuff like Jolly Ranchers and no chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, on the Red Bull thing, I think Kat's been compromised. I think.
No, I told you, I
think George
look,
Schwab got to her.
This is my 2nd can today. However, as I said,
You've only had 2. Yeah, no, guys, Darth Schwab got to her.
It's
Why are there bugs
it's
in it?
cheaper to buy the Red Bull. It's cheaper to buy the Gatorade. And no, I noticed like when I was biking that I was biking even faster than usual.
Is it Gatorade Zero?
No.
You should get the Gatorade Zero.
What's Gatorade Zero?
We don't have sugar. Sugar's bad for you.
Hmm.
It's worse than heroin.
Yeah, synthetic sugars specifically.
Wait. If I was
even
compromised by
cane
Schwab,
sugar to a degree is not great for you.
I mean,
Yeah.
like natural sugars. Like for example, an apple is really fucking sugary, but that's
no,
good sugar.
Don't eat
No,
the
you know
seeds.
what's really, really good?
Those
And
are
I
the
had
best
it.
part.
No,
What,
no,
the
no.
seeds?
Because they're full
Yeah.
of sugar.
The seeds have cyanide in them.
That's
Also
why
that.
they're good.
Cyanide kills you.
This
You
is
know,
I
you know
love
cyanide
cyanide
is
pills.
cyanide
This
is
is-
also
this is
produced
Shadow.
naturally
He
in the human
keeps
body to a
insisting-
degree.
I love
Look, yeah,
cyanide.
this is Shadow. Shadow wants to eat people.
No, I don't. No, I'm not.
How many times have you
Fucking
told us
Hannibal
that the
Lecter?
corpus
Are you
tastes
Army
like
Hammer?
No, I'm not. No.
Taking a page out of Army Hammer's book.
I don't even know who that is. Is he,
Please, like he's
Sergeant
the
Snapper?
first fucking cannibal in Hollywood,
Oh no, fuck no, he's not. But he's just the most recent.
and
He's just the
vocal
most
about it.
known.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Wait, well, first of all, just oh my god! If the kitty thing is something, if we were okay, we were saying a while back that one of the problems with having everything and being wealthy is then you need to do the things that are forbidden, right? That's why they're big in on the kids, right? Because that's
Mhm.
like the the no touch zone, but it's like it's the most appealing now because they've had everything else. What if cannibalism is another thing in Hollywood that because I mean, think about it. What is the most forbidden thing to eat?
Sure, but that now you keep in mind there are different circumstances that will lead a person to cannibalism. It's not necessarily if it's forbidden. If you have no other recourse, almost everybody on Earth, whether they say they will or not, will resort to it to survive.
Oh no, I can believe that. As someone who's fasted, no, I can believe that. No.
However, as far as that goes, that is a survival tactic. And the second that it's no longer necessary to survive, you can survive other ways. Most people will get as far away from that shit as possible and block it out of their minds, with certain tribal exceptions. In Hollywood, yeah, you're probably right. There probably is a
can you just
a number of people who do this sort of thing because they're not supposed to, because it's taboo.
Yeah. I mean, can you just imagine you go to some multi-millionaire's Hollywood mansion, some high muckety muck Hollywood director, and they're like, and for the main course we have long pork, and everyone's like, ooh, so exotic, so exquisite, so rare. You actually have it. Just, I mean, if they're going after the kids, because this would actually. You know what? I'm surprised no one else has thought about it or contemplated or even considered that.
I'm sure they have. I'm sure people have talked about it, and I'm just as sure those people, maybe died in a fiery car crash that was publicly televised.
Well, add the fact that some of them seem quite crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, eating
They're
people,
all crazy.
Yeah,
they're all
eating people can mess with your brain.
Well, see, and here's. Along those lines, along what you're talking about here with the pursuit of the forbidden, I know a lot of people like to talk about the sex stuff and the sex slavery and shit that happened on Epstein's Island. I don't think that was even half the worst of it.
No, probably not
going on there.
Yeah,
I think we're looking at a what was Shadow? You read no, you didn't. Never mind. That was a different series.
Wait, did I read what?
I was gonna reference The Expanse, but it wasn't The Expanse I was thinking of. It was Altered Carbon.
Oh, no, I haven't yet. I that's another thing I've been recommended.
So in Altered Carbon, there are a number of people who are referred to as Methuselahs because they're extremely long lived and extremely wealthy, right? And there is a place that they go for their kicks. That's basically a suborbital platform, right? And in this place, they can pay for literally anything.
That makes
up to and including murder and beyond.
See, shit like that, you would go, there's no fucking way.
And they get these girls that nobody's gonna miss, and even if they do get ones that somebody's gonna miss, they change the coding on their stacks so that they can't be revived to accuse their killers for religious reasons. I mean, the whole thing's fucked up. But anyway,
it's human trafficking.
I honestly, I think this is a sci-fi version of exactly what was happening at that island.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have a client list.
Human trafficking is so easy; it's not even funny. It happens every day in every state of the United States, unreported.
Sturgis, South Dakota, every year, girls go missing every year.
In modern world history than there has been at any point other in human history. Speaking of human trafficking and all that shit, did anyone else see Trump's? I'm saying this in quotations. Trump's recent video, recent announcement.
No, I didn't.
He basically, I was trying to find it for the stream and I couldn't, which is part of why I'm doing this in quotations. He basically declared war on the cartels, human traffickers, and people who are taking their bribes, saying that he's
I did see that.
Yeah, I say quotations because there's also like a ton of AI shit that came out recently that I'm like, did anyone see that video of an AI that turned into Morgan Freeman and pretended to be Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that shit's out there. Who's to fucking say that unless you can actually see someone saying that shit in public, how can you tell that that's not an AI?
Well,
that could be
I think
an AI or a mask or something pretending to be Trump saying that shit.
I told you guys the singularity was coming faster than we thought.
Yeah.
So I did use that chat bot and I had it right. And I then had, and it is so cheesy. Like
Right.
it's so
But Kat,
basically.
that's the stuff we have. Who's to say the shit they have
Yeah,
isn't?
that's true.
And I'm not using the Kanye they. I mean like the general, like the elites, the
Nazi
government.
Jews.
The Jews.
The Jews are taking over. They
Hey,
make
did you-
the motherland.
Did you guys ever see that that meme of the little kid and he had like a smudge on his upper lip, right? It looked like a
Yeah.
certain kind of mustache, and he had like a like a Capri Sun juice box or some shit like that,
Uh-huh.
and he goes, "I have eliminated the juice."
No, I'm actually watching show. I'm watching a show called Suits. I don't know if anyone else has heard of it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
got-
you told me if I was going to write
Oh,
politics, but I don't
that's-
watch politics. I just
That's
write.
where Meghan Markle came from.
Yes,
Oh,
in
So,
the beginning,
that-
I
that-
had to remind myself who she was, and then a bunch of the other female characters showed up, and I'm like, I don't need to remember because she is like the bottom of the barrel compared to some of these other people.
So that show should be
Um,
banned from television forever because they gave us Meghan Markle.
But there's like a scene where they have a dude who they end up confirming he's Jewish, but you could just tell he's Jewish. He does a someone tricks him to like smudging ink over his lip and then gets him to do some freaking like shoulder exercises. So he's basically Sig Heiling with like a Hitler
Did you-
mustache.
Did you see Friday Night Tights where Gary was pointing at something? It looked like it was with the left. It was with the left arm, so it's not the right. It wasn't
It's
the
not the
right
correct arm, but
Yeah.
I actually
Um,
missed it this week. No,
Oh man, it was fucking funny because he was like trying to he was talking about something and he was just like you gotta, and he's like and then of course Jeremy's like, that's gonna get clipped, and he was like, oh. And so then he starts pointing with his finger, and it's just like, too late, dude, too late. The Jews, they came to the Friday Night Lights, and it's like, oh, Gary.
feel like if this channel gets deleted, I'll just switch to Rumble. So feel free to go all in, man.
though,
no,
though, you
no.
know, though, there's
That's-
one good thing about Meghan Markle. She's
Nothing?
exposing. No, think about it. She's exposing what's going on. So people were like, "Oh yeah, she's so." The people who know about her are like losing even more trust in the media because at first everyone
See-
was like, "She's a victim. Oh, the horrible treatment she suffered," and then now everyone's
Oh, did you
finding
see
out
that?
like,
Do you see that Harry's gonna have an interview on Good Morning America?
"Oh
Ugh.
God."
yeah, she married into one of the wealthiest fucking royal families left on planet Earth, and
She
she's
still
such a
had stuff to
victim.
complain about.
It's literally, that family is literally a dynasty, a living dynasty, and she is
They were
still
Not
done.
only that,
complaining.
but she has publicly and vocally denounced and pissed upon the deceased matriarch of that said family, and is still breathing. She's such a victim.
Mhm.
Look, I there's still someone I hate more due to that situation. I fucking hate Hassan Piker more than Meghan Markle, even having heard that when it comes to the Queen's death, just because like
He's just
I
a
fucking hate
loser.
that guy.
Yeah, he's a loser.
I wouldn't take him too seriously, to be honest with you.
Wait,
He's the definition of a grifter, like seriously,
Yeah,
because he has no original content. He just reacts and complains to everybody else's, and you know, his mom still lives with him.
Wait, isn't that all right? I have now. This is going to be controversial, and maybe I don't know him well, so maybe I haven't watched all of his content. I haven't watched his live streams, but isn't that what Asmongold does?
Similar, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, every
like,
single one of
it's a-
Asmongold's videos has been him literally playing somebody else's video and commenting on it.
It's
Yeah,
it's a Twitch thing.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people do.
He
And I
doesn't
mean, there's
create
a,
anything of his
look,
own.
Kat, there's a little bit more effort put in there than a lot of female Twitch streamers. Okay, at least we can give them that they have something on screen that they're talking about. All right, can we give them a little bit of credit
No,
there?
you know what?
No.
You
No,
just don't like,
no,
you
no,
just
no,
don't
no,
like,
no.
just don't like strong woman, okay?
No. Actually,
Yes,
no,
I
Shadow.
hate
No,
Amaranth, Amaranth is a princess.
No. Shadow. Actually, I might actually disagree with you on that. I mean, I'm not entirely sure because I personally don't do that.
Who's worth, Amaranth or Pokimane?
I don't know. I've actually.
mean,
never watched
I
either.
Amaranth was
Genuinely-
nicer to look at. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I genuinely but then you've got Pokimane is arguing for legislation that's just people can't
Yeah, because she's a
Oh,
fucking
to me,
idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An idiot.
like Amaranth is I think a disgusting human being for how she makes her money, but Pokimane is someone I think is legitimately just a worse person.
That actually reminds me of, speaking of terrible fucking people. Have you guys seen that shit with that's going around right now about the girl who's talking about how she's been with like 6 dogs in the last year?
Oh my
Oh
god.
God,
What
that
the
was
fuck?
the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, she's still on Twitter.
Yeah, she is.
I don't remember. I don't remember what her name is.
Oh, I
yeah,
remember.
I've got
I
it
remember those
bookmarked.
tweets. I remember those fucking tweets. No, that was like that showed up. I was on Twitter and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna
Yeah,
actually use Twitter for
it's
once. And the first thing in my feed was I
I'm
don't know
not
if it's
gonna
the same
I'm not
shit.
gonna say her at, but she goes by Naughty Fairy with a K.
Yeah, that's right.
Like there was
Yeah,
like
there's
something in my feed where she's like, they're more loyal, they're bigger than you got, they're bigger than you losers, and then like another list of stuff, and
Oh,
it's a picture of her and her dog, and I'm like,
yeah, there's
that's too much
she's got
Twitter for today.
she's got stuff on her Instagram showing her doing a bunch of shit with her dogs. Uh, the picture that got my attention, unfortunately, is one that fucking everybody seems to keep reposting. That she talks about how she's like trans canine or whatever.
Yep.
Which, by the way,
Yeah.
is not a
This.
fucking
I
thing.
called this
No,
shit years
it's
ago.
And
I was
she's got
called a
she's got these.
homophobe.
Hold up, Shadow. She's got these
Sorry, I'm
ears
sorry.
on. She's got these big, stupid, fucking paw-looking slippers on, and she's wearing some lingerie, and she's got about 8 fucking Bad Dragon dildos sitting between her legs.
Yep. Did she delete her Twitter? Or she
No,
make a
she's
Uh,
still on. I've still maybe she just blocked you or something because I got
maybe.
I'm on her Twitter right now. It's trans
I
K yeah,
what the
trans
fuck?
fucking called
canine.
this shit.
No,
Iris,
it's-
I
fucking
tried
called
to
this shit.
respond to messages. Art of Zoo.
there is no such no, and this is proof that we have become an indulgent, crashing nation. When you can actually no, these
Yes,
people.
Pat, I
have-
called this years ago. I was telling people, not on YouTube or Twitter or any of that, but like I was telling people, like, there are articles circulating for people who are arguing that you should be able to sleep with animals, or at the very least, dead animals like rotisserie chicken.
But as
And
long
that's
as we're
not bad.
as long
And
as we're
people were
one upping
telling
each
me-
other, I called this before you were fucking born.
Probably. I mean, I'm only like probably, but it's just like I remember being called a homophobe by some people. Some were joking, some were serious, because I'm like,
homophobe.
they're going to use the same arguments. They're going to use the same arguments for gay marriage, for accepting of trans people, for bestiality, necrophilia, like that's all going to happen. Why? Because it fucking worked the first
It
time
is happening.
around.
It's not going to happen. It is
Yes, well,
happening
no,
currently,
back
right now.
Back then, I was
Hey,
arguing.
Samuel, DM me her shit because I can't find her, and I don't think I'm blocked. I don't remember interacting with her.
Yeah, give me
I
just a
don't-
second.
Or
I'll bring it back up.
maybe I comment, or maybe she did the math. I don't know. That's weird.
I don't want to go looking for that.
No,
shit.
I just want to block her because you know what? I there are a couple times, Dan Slott, I blocked him because you want to know what? I just want
Well,
because I knew
he
he was gonna,
blocked me.
I
don't
wanted
block
to be the
people, I
one to
just
block
ignore them.
him. I just
Yeah, I
wanted
don't
to be the
block
one.
people.
No, I've started.
I don't even dislike shit. I just click don't recommend. Like it's just.
No,
like,
you're gonna
I
change.
think this bitch is allowed. I think like this bitch is allowed to say what she wants. I just think she's a fucking crazy person.
No, she's not because what she's doing is
You should have the
animal.
link to her to her
Three.
page now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm not blocked. I had I
Five,
didn't realize what her at was. That's where I got
Yeah,
tripped
that's
up.
why I didn't want to say it out loud because
Yeah, no, we won't say it out loud, but
7,
okay.
8,
No.
9,
She's
no.
what she's doing. Every adult should be allowed.
You
but
know what's crazy is that if you look at her, she's not half bad looking. Like she should be able to like get humped. Like, come on.
Well, that's the thing. She's got pictures where she's dressed up very nice in a like a
God,
like a
she's-
summer dress kind of thing, and she looks great in those pictures. And she talks about, like I'm a catch and I do all this stuff, but then she goes into the kink stuff that she's into, and is like, no, that's
Wait,
too much.
can you
Eight-
put it-
look,
can you
eight-
put it in the
hold on.
private chat? I wanna
8
talk.
hours ago, day 2, I'm dog sitting for a friend.
Oh fuck.
How much you want to bet Dad wasn't in the picture?
And she said also cosplaying as Little Red Riding Hood. She's in a she's in a hood, red, and then the dog is next to her.
Yeah, I saw
How
that
much-
one too.
Wow.
That's signs of two things. First, people need dad to be in the picture more. Second, certain child protection laws I think need to be rolled back
No,
slightly.
no.
There
No,
are
I
some
know.
people out there who needed the old hickory stick.
Look, man, I don't disagree with you on that for the most part, but I also think that some people are just born wrong.
Oh, I would agree. Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
And she may be one of them.
Yeah.
She needs
No.
severe help.
The thing is, you know,
Which-
I'm beginning to think, given how many crazies we keep, is there something going on? I mean, at first I used to think it was just that we've turned mental illness into a popular trend, but now
We
I'm
have.
beginning
That's
to
part of
think
it. We celebrate
that-
mental illness.
Yeah, so we celebrating mental illness. It's the fact that fathers are either not in the home due to single parent households, or dads out working, or the dad in question has been emasculated to the point where he's not filling that role of being a father. I thank God that that's not my experience. My dad, even when he was doing long nights in the military and stuff, he was still around in my life.
same with me.
And
My
he
parents
he
divorced.
didn't. I think he should have been stricter. He should have definitely been stricter. But I turned out relatively well. I'm just a lazy bastard. Like, that's really the only flaw in my end. But you've got some people who aren't as lucky out there, where you get people like this woman who think it's okay to engage in.
No, this
an
person should
absolute
be arrested. Somebody
perversion.
needs to contact the police because what
Oh, that's
she's
animal
doing-
abuse, definitely.
Yeah, that's
No,
animal abuse.
it's rape is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even like that. Like, there was a situation with this woman, this animal trainer and a dolphin, where she was in a sexual relationship with the dolphin. Where
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
To be fair,
dolphin-
in that case, the dolphin may have started that shit.
yeah, and the dolphin ended up committing suicide. So there was at least a level of like,
Wait, the
dolphins are fucking
what?
smart, but that's still wrong. Yeah, no, dolphins are intelligent. They are.
They're
like
also
chimps.
fucking evil.
Oh yeah, they are. They are so evil.
They're
Like,
evil. They're rapey, murdery bastards. They kill for fun.
Oh, they are. They are.
oh no, and the best part is the way they kill other dolphins is they
They'll
cause
kill the
internal
offspring.
bleeding.
They'll
They-
kill the
well-
offspring of a mate, and just to make the female go back into heat.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
when a tiger
And-
eats his own young, it's because he doesn't want the competition. It's not fucking personal.
Yeah, yeah.
Dolphins.
So
do it
so a
because
female
it's
dolphin
fun.
will
They're-
mate with multiple partners just to make sure that there's confusion.
Yeah, like
Ah.
dolphins are. They are
And-
I used to love them as like a creature because like they have diet, they have languages, they give each other names, they use tools. They are the monkeys of the sea. And then you find out how evil they fucking are, and I switched to orcas because they're genocidal killer. Orcas are genocidal killers. Don't get me wrong, but at least they don't do that shit.
Just for the record, Kat, if you were
It's
to go
primal.
swimming in the ocean and it was a certain period of the month, the dolphin will find you very irresistible.
Okay, this is why you know
Dolphin
what? Whenever I
and
go
will-
to Egypt,
And will try to do it with you. There are videos of women being basically
oh my
the
holy
dolphin.
crap.
I'm waiting.
the
for
dolphin's
YouTube
trying to-
strike.
It's
I am
on
waiting
like
for the
Instagram and
YouTube
shit where like you get like this couple that's going swimming and the girl like in the ocean or whatever, and all of a sudden the dolphin's trying to hump her. It's really funny
I am
because she's like,
waiting for the
get
YouTube
away, get
strike.
away, and it's just like the dolphin is like all up into it.
You know what,
Hey, I mean-
Zenny? I love sharks too, actually.
Yeah.
I think sharks are fucking amazing creatures. They really are. And actually, speaking of Jennifer Lawrence,
She was the first
woman
shark.
ever to do anything. It was one of those things that came out around that time. You were hearing a lot of people saying like, "Oh, well, there aren't women in STEM fields. There were never women to look up to." Regarding sharks, Dr. Eugenie Clark, without whom we would know next to nothing about them.
Yeah.
You know what?
Just look her up. She was awesome.
Can I just say something to that? Why the hell do you need to have specifically a woman to look up to? I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't need to see other women as doctors to
Well,
think
that's
I could
kinda-
be a doctor.
Yeah, that's
I
kind
had
of
a
my point,
father
Kat.
who would tell me that if I wanted to be a doctor, I could be a doctor. See?
Yeah,
I
see,
mean, I
that's,
can-
that's kind of my point because I looked up to Eugenie Clark. Didn't matter that
Yeah.
she was a woman; she just knew stuff about cool stuff that I wanted to know about.
Yeah.
Now, from a certain I disagree that every single one it needs to be a woman for you to relate to, but I can kind of see the argument from a certain for example, when a guy looks at say Snake Eyes or He-Man or in my case
Oh
Dinobot.
no, I get what you mean.
Look at that as like a badass dude and you want to be like him from that perspective. If a girl, like, you're more likely, it doesn't need to be a dude for you to go.
No.
"They're a
I get what
badass."
you're saying.
Wonder
I
Woman,
get what
Ripley.
you're saying. Girls need female role models, and men need, but it doesn't mean that just because, that because it's a woman, you like, especially in stuff like science and stuff. Where it's like, oh, I never had a doctor to look up to. Yeah, but you probably had other female role models,
Yeah, exactly.
including your own parents.
Yeah, like it doesn't like you don't need like again Sarah Connor, Ripley, Wonder Woman. All of these are amazing. Well, maybe not Ripley or Sarah Connor because those are R-rated movies, but definitely Wonder Woman. Like there are strong female characters out there for you to look up to as a girl, and you can look up to a male doctor, and like it's this absolute bullshit of like trying to lock people down into categories to create
you want a
conformist society.
You want a
Yeah.
PG rated for everybody, great role model to look up to. June Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver.
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of Leave
You
It to
have
Beaver?
never heard
Jesus
of
Christ,
Leave
you're
It-
so young.
I'm 19.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
but
to be
everyone's heard of Leave It to Beaver.
Leave
You've
It to
not
Beaver
heard-
was on air before I was born, but it was early days of sitcoms, still black and white. June Cleaver was a housewife. Her husband's name was Ward. They had 2 sons. The Beav, who was the main character, and his brother Wally, and then Wally's best friend Eddie Haskell. Now, everybody, this was the 50s. So there was a lot of 50s aesthetic going on. But if you watch that show, if you pay attention to that show, June Cleaver's not some like cowed housewife who just does whatever. She rules that fucking household. And she
Yeah.
does so with grace and humility and kindness. Another example from The Honeymooners, Alice Cramden. Alice Cramden is a hell of a woman. And I'm saying that these examples, they already existed.
Yeah, they do. Going into another one, and this one might be a little bit more controversial given the character's design inspirations, but Black Arachnia from Beast Wars. She is intelligent. She's a very capable individual, and like her primary flaw is just trying to figure out what the fuck she's supposed to do in this world, which I imagine is a thing that a lot of people can relate with. She's also very connected and faithful to her love interest, Silverbolt. Now, yeah, her design was based on an exotic dancer, so that's kind of some negative points in that regard, especially since this was a kid's show, but they exist. Like, even for my generation, they fucking existed if you knew where to look.
Oh, Barbie
Oh,
doll
yeah,
is
you know
based on a
what?
supermodel.
My grandmother
was?
was a strong woman.
The Barbie doll.
My aunt
Oh, yeah.
was a strong woman.
Strong
You
woman.
know, and then I've already mentioned Sayyidah Khadija, who was the first wife of the Prophet Muhammad. She was 40 years old when she married him, and an independent business owner.
Shit, yeah,
He-
Zenny Biscuit.
Who's
She,
this
on the other
Muhammad?
hand, huh?
Who's this Muhammad?
I've never seen a
Just
picture of
fucking
him. I
with
don't
you.
know.
Sorry,
No,
Kat.
like, wait, what? What? He-
we didn't have our Friday night show on this, because I was stuck to the airline, so I haven't given you a hard
Yeah.
time in a while. Got to give you
Yeah,
some shit.
that's true. I you know what? I'm suddenly feeling that lack of having gotten a hard time. Things were too easy this Friday. No, but his first wife, he worked for her. She was so impressed by his honesty, and that she sent a friend to ask him to marry her. She was 40 years old and he was 25, and while they were married, he remained monogamous only to her, and she died, and they were married for 20 years.
Well, I think that says something. I think that says something about Muhammad.
That he loved his wife.
She was 20 years older than him. I think that determined. I'm making a very
Well-
fucked joke. I'm sorry, Kat.
Get him, Cat. Get him.
No, well,
Fuck him
you
up.
know what? He
Mm,
could
punch
have
him in the
probably.
dick.
ILF. All
He
I'm
was
gonna say.
actually from a very important house in Mecca, and he probably could have had anybody. But I mean, the simple fact is he could have married multiple people at that time easily, and he chose only to be married to her. Afterwards, he married multiple people for political reasons and for alliance reasons, but her, he married and stayed with her for over 20 years. I mean, it's kind of sweet when you think about it, and kind of romantic.
I mean,
sorry, I was just googling a name that I remember. Time Force was one of the Power Rangers I did enjoy watching. I just needed to double check which Ranger he was talking about.
Wait,
Power Rangers
I might be the only member of the Fellowship who just didn't ever get into Power Rangers.
No, I never got into Power Rangers either. I thought it was
Power Rangers. Oh,
I hated. I thought it was.
Ryan
I was like
stupid and
6 years
over the
old, man.
top,
Ryan,
and they
favorite
were
Power Rangers group?
The original Mighty Morphin.
Like
personally,
the
original.
Who
either
were also a
what-
ripoff of Voltron, just saying.
Yes,
No, they were big in they were big in Japan. That's how it came to the United States.
Yeah, it was Japan, and then it
Yeah,
got
Voltron was
got out-
Japanese originally too.
I don't watch a lot of Voltron.
Came out in the 70s.
Well, I know what Voltron is. I just didn't watch a lot of it, but I did have the toys, and that's what I used to pretend I was playing Power Rangers until I got it.
Because it's a ripoff of Voltron.
It's not an exact ripoff. There is some parallels.
Yeah, there were some
you got
differences.
you got a bunch of
giant
pilots who
robot
are in
that
multicolored
combines to
suits
fight-
who are in gigantic robots that come together
Yeah.
to form an even bigger robot.
All right,
and fight
listen,
existential
Samael.
threats.
All right, get off your high horse.
Look, okay, I can name one big difference between freaking Power Rangers and Voltron. Power Rangers at least had a lot of really good decent reboots.
Power Rangers.
Look
is
at
still
what
on.
Netflix has done to Voltron. Is all
Oh
I'm
no,
gonna
I
say.
know they cut the balls off that show.
No,
Yeah.
I did see some of Voltron though. I really did, and I had like I said, I had their version of the Megazord. You know the.
Do you guys ever play Magic the Gathering?
I got some
God.
cards
Got it.
recently.
Okay,
that.
so my very first collection of Magic the Gathering cards that I got, this would have been in 1996 or 7, and I was just coming up to the tail end of junior high there, and I had this old Voltron Castle playset that I'd had since I was like 3 years old, right? And I traded it to a dude for a box of Magic cards, which is how I got into that. As
I
it
got
turns
it
out, the
No.
playset was worth a hell of a lot more than the cards were.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
I didn't understand Magic the Gathering until I was in high school because there was a group of guys. They were kind of the nerdy guys that they would play at lunch, and I never knew what it was. I just knew there's Magic the Magic. Oh, they got the Magic cards, and it's like nobody fucked with them. They just sat at the table by themselves, like off in the corner. They played Magic like fucking all the time.
I was
lunch
one of
period.
those dudes.
So I mean, look, dude, look. I was nerdy as fuck in high school. It wasn't until like towards the halfway through my junior year, I kind of got the personality I got now. I got more athletic and into weights and stuff like that. And then I had like a wide variety of friends. So I got like into cars and into weightlifting, but I also was like a nerd. I loved like superhero shit and Power Rangers and so it's like and now I'm this is who I am today, which is great because you know what? It's good to be a well-rounded person, and quite frankly, pop culture is culture. So I think so it's like, they used to make fun of like all the nerds, like, oh my god, like when are you ever going to use that? And it's like, hi, television show and movie reviewer, hi.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It is a cool thing. I played a lot of the Magic, and I played for a very long time actually. It's 1997, I think, is when I started getting into it. The game came out in 95, like originally. So I was pretty old school. Not all the way at the beginning, but pretty close to. So years and years and years later, my oldest kid decides that she wants to get into it. So I picked up the game again, taught her how to play. She got better than I ever was at it, and then quit playing. And I'm like, all right, well, now I have nobody to play with, and it's I guess just as well because my kid would just kick my ass. But
how old is she? And the question is she a teenager now? And that's why
she is actually going to be 21 in a couple months.
Oh shit. Okay, so she's well past that. She's into college. She's into very different things.
I'm
well,
even younger than some
I'll
of those
say this.
kids.
I've always wanted to play Magic
That's
the
why
Gathering. I tried to get my brothers into it. One of the things that I never mentioned is the simple fact that, when I was a kid, there weren't a lot of Muslim girls into nerdy geek stuff. So I had a very, very, and we separate the girls and the boys. So I had one of the things why I really appreciate having just talking with people about video, Star Trek and Stargate and all that is because I never had anybody like that when I was a kid. Even when I finally went to public school after going to Islamic school for like 2 years, I would sit in the hallway reading Star Trek novels. So I wanted to play Magic the Gathering with my brothers, but they never wanted to. So I still have some cards.
Yeah.
So
See-
the three of you might hate me for this, but I wasn't a Magic the Gathering dude. I was a Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
You bitch.
Yeah, a little bit.
Feel free to
Little
say
bitchy.
that.
I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh either, so I'm not. I can't talk.
We're just fucking with you, dude.
At
Yeah.
least I didn't play.
My-
At least I didn't play Digimon. All right. At least I'm
Dude.
not. One
My sister is 4 years younger than me, and she was massively into Pokemon. I didn't understand it. I still don't understand it. Until like the Jurassic World version of Pokemon Go came out, and then I'm like, it's like
Dude, if I am being 100% honest as a shitty parent, part of the reason that I got my kid into games like chess and Magic is because I can't fucking stand Pokemon, and she loved that shit.
I still don't. I don't look. Pokemon is huge. People love it. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I used to
I always
like
thought
it.
I always thought Pikachu was like cute and fucking badass when she got Pikachu and just explode, and I'd be like, oh, that was the only part of like the anime. I've watched other animes, like but there's other animes that I do like, but like
Digimon
Cowboy
had better
Bebop,
animes than Pokemon.
Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that. But I never understood Pokemon. The only thing that I thought was pretty cool was Pikachu because she exploded lightning.
I can explain Pokemon to you. I can explain the
it's-
whole
it's
thing to you
huge.
right now. Ash Ketchum is a cry bitch.
Yes.
That's it. End of story. Everything else is incidental.
He's
almost
also
all- Every anime movie and TV show I have seen that character in, he spends half of it crying his eyes out
Also, I'd like to point out that
incoherently.
he's like by like Black and White. He's like my age, and he's hanging around with 10-year-olds.
No,
And
but he's
still
still
crying
a 10,
about it.
But he's still a 10-year-old. That's the thing. They just put him in 10-year-old status.
It's eternally one age.
Yeah.
He's the Bart Simpson of Pokemon.
Does anybody speaking of like kind of early animes when it comes to computer rendering and stuff like that, not like traditional animes, does anybody remember the original Starship Troopers animated series that came out after?
Yes!
Yeah.
I am. I am a very.
I have the DVDs of that.
Wait,
You watch
which
it
one?
now?
Which,
I have
I've
all
heard. So there, I've seen the ones that I've seen.
the whole series.
Sorry, I've seen. Fuck, what's it called? There's the first one, and then there's Trader of Mars. But I've also heard there's something else out there.
I just know it's the Starship Troopers Chronicles. That's what I got. That was the original
think
show
that's-
that
I
came
think
out
that's a
after the
very-
movie.
There's more. Okay, so I know the first three movies. The first, there's the 3 live actions. There's the 2 that are good, and then there's the third one that we don't talk about. And then
Yeah.
I also know that there's a pair of movies that are more faithful to the books. One is about like I can't remember its name, and then there's a sequel called Trader of Mars that were made by a
No,
Japanese studio.
this is literally just like it was kind of like Beast Wars animation.
Yeah.
You know, it was like really campy looking and kind of bad, but at the time you're like, and
Wait, what's it called?
it's called the Starship Troopers Chronicles.
The Primal one is right about the manga for Yu-Gi-Oh, especially the first year of Yu-Gi-Oh. I think the cards. One of the reasons the cards ruined Yu-Gi-Oh. Sorry, Shadow, but the cards absolutely.
I don't
ruined
care.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
I just discovered what's probably going to be my new favorite. So
Did you find it?
it's called Roughnecks.
Roughnecks. Thank you. Yeah,
Starship Trooper. So
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I
had
have
heard-
the
I had
have the
heard
whole
about
entire.
Starship Troopers from like 6 different people on YouTube, like Critical Drinker, Arch, PewDiePie, like different people were talking about this. And my dad was like, "Hey, this is a movie that I watched when I was younger, Starship Troopers." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I loved the fucking movie.
Yeah, I think each
then-
disc is like an hour and 45 minutes. Like it's literally like the whole. It's like the what just like different campaigns, and it's like it's huge.
There's
It's
There's
awesome.
a game coming out. There's a game coming out that's like a 12-person squad-based game. I think it's like
Is that the one that's on Steam right now? I haven't.
No, you're thinking of Terran Command, which is a strategy game that came out.
Yeah,
I've heard
Terran
mixed
Command.
things about it. A lot of people who are like book purists are like, it's not like the book. I love the books. I love them. I love all. If it's Starship Troopers, except for that bullshit third movie, Starship Troopers Extermination.
Yeah, I like Starship Troopers.
This is the thing that I absolutely love. For some people it was Star Wars. For Cat, it's Star Trek.
Oh,
No, I
This
like
yeah,
is the
no,
series
I
that
like
is
Star
like-
Wars.
it's like playing StarCraft. That's wicked. I love me some
fucking-
StarCraft too.
Yeah, but no, Starship Troopers Extermination. Someone on Cat's Discord, I think it was Yue Gale, told me about this. I'm like, no fucking way. I go on YouTube. It is a 12-person, kind of like Arma type thing. 12-person fire team, first-person
online?
wave shooter. Yeah, so it'll be like 12 players going up against endless waves of bugs out of like the fucking movies. I'm sorry that I'm gushing. I am just so
No,
so excited.
I
And
feel
you
ya.
just told me about this. Tell me
Sound
I
like
can
you're
watch,
gushing
tell me
from
I can
both
pirate
ends.
on YouTube. Tell me I can fucking pirate it on YouTube. Hold on.
Samuel, God damn it!
What did he say?
He said you're gushing from both ends.
No comment. Like this is my favorite. Starship Troopers is my favorite thing in the world. It is. Yeah, no, I am glad my.
Oh,
camera's off
you
so
can
guys
get early
see me.
access? Oh, fuck yeah! I'm a streamer.
Wait.
Let's do it.
Wait, early access? What?
Yeah, it's Starship Troopers Extermination Private Alpha. Well, it'll most likely the first couple will be private, and then once they get to the beta, they'll probably make it open.
This is like I am so.
I got into the private Warframe alpha, Warframe beta on
I mean,
iOS.
I mean, I actually alpha and beta tested Fallout 76. And a New World, Amazon's New World. I alpha and beta tested that.
Oh, that is cool. No, I
So-
didn't. The
Wait,
only
what's
other
New
one I ever
World?
did was
What's New
Destiny
Worlds?
2.
Amazon's New World. It's a MMORPG. It's a lot of fun. It's really it's a great game. You should really
Wait,
play
it's
it.
like Roughnecks is like several hours, right?
Yeah, like you there's literally like
I
five or
just
six
found,
discs, and each disc is like an hour and 45 minutes long.
I just found it. There's 8.
I think I bought that shit off of eBay. Like it was
Screw
like
watching
brand new.
Screw watching Suits. I really, really hope they haven't fucked with the audio of this show, because if they have, I'm going to hurt someone.
I don't know what that means.
I'm going to commit a felony if this show is not. I watched the original 40K.
You maybe don't want to announce that shit on fucking YouTube.
I don't care.
Susan, we
what's
love
Susan
you.
gonna do to me? What is Susan gonna do to me?
Nuke your channel.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
That's-
gonna
Report
lose
to the
contact with
authorities.
my 50 subscribers. Most of them are on the same. Most of them are in like one Discord server. I can just go, hey, here's my Rumble
Hey,
channel.
well, some of us have monetized YouTube channels, so easy.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Oh, well, I mean, they can trace it back to your channel. Yeah, that's true.
And honestly, I was gonna make a video about this, and one of the reasons why I have to make more content this year is, as I said, I feel like I have a moral obligation to say something, because people expect me to be woke, and I'm not woke, and I break their narratives, and I need to make more content about that, because
Well, do what you love to do is what I say, and if
Mm-hmm.
if it's not something that you're into, then obviously the audience is going to realize that. And holy shit, this game looks awesome. I'm watching like the preview.
Yeah,
But-
now, granted,
I love
Um,
Halo, for example. They expect me as a woman to no, I love Halo the games, not the show. They expect me as a girl to love the new Halo show because girl power, yay! And I don't.
Well, you also don't like, for example, Mass Effect. So
Yeah, well, Mass Effect is boring.
The
No,
fuck
it's
is
not.
wrong with you?
that's
Too
what I
much
said.
talking.
No,
That's what I
no.
said.
There's
It's-
too much talking and not enough.
Go
shooting.
figure. Go figure. The Muslim is bloodthirsty.
Hey, there are no airplanes in the video game.
You
Why
know,
would
they're,
I-
they're,
No,
I'm
there's
just saying-
spaceships though.
you know what you
But
you,
can
you
you
might
control-
love about it though, Kat, especially in Mass Effect 2, there is a suicide run.
That's right. The move on the collector's base.
And if you
Yeah.
play your cards right, everybody dies.
dude,
No, but the problem is, in order for me to reach there, I have to go through dialogue and dialogue trees. And you know what? I don't even like the
You
dialogue
can like
trees.
skip through most of that, right?
No,
So you don't like Fallout either?
not really. No.
What the?
no, her favorite Fallout is
Fuck!
Fallout 4.
My favorite video games are Doom, Doom Eternal, Borderlands, Destiny, Original Destiny, Warframe.
Man, somebody needs to punch you in the box.
Halo. I love the Halo series. I hate dialogue trees. Even in High on Life, there are random it's like 5 minutes of dialogue tree where you're trying to decide where it's that alien guy, the alien bounty hunter with no legs, and your sister.
That's pretty standard for most games these days.
And you have to decide, does her boyfriend get to stay or not? And it's like,
Do you know why they have those like dialogue trees and all
The
that stuff?
torture?
It's because places like Bethesda and BioWare made that a successful model. So now everybody.
no,
does
it's
it.
boring.
Well, apparently the people who buy the game, the sheer numbers of people who are shilling out money for this stuff disagree with you.
Those are people with no taste.
You don't like the OG Mass Effect trilogy, which yes, the first game's combat was clunky, and the third game's story, we'd better not talk about it.
So
That
it's
is
not a
the
very good
gold
game.
Standard.
Clearly.
It's that Shadow. The third game's story wasn't the problem; it was the fucking ending.
It was the ending.
The rest of
I
the story
still-
was fine.
Why would I want to play
I don't
a
like
game
what they
where
did with Cerberus, honestly. They went from like an independent group to we are slaves of the Reapers, totally subservient.
Yeah, because they
Meh."
fucking lost in 2.
Yeah, because they got indoctrinated.
They
Yeah, I
they
know,
lost to the Reapers
I don't know.
in 2.
I saw a lot more potential in I just would have preferred to see Cerberus as like
Like
another
when
option.
the
Like, yeah, you could work with them.
Well-
You could work with them to fight the Reapers, and maybe it's like a bad route to go, but it's still they're still fighting.
did you
the
not
Reapers.
play the second game? Because
I did.
I
did.
The
No, I
elusive
did. It's
man
just-
makes no bones about being a fucking dick the whole
Yeah.
No,
time.
he
He's
does.
like, we're not
I'm
good
fully
people.
aware.
We just have resources that you can use. They never started being on the side of right. They were looking to profit the whole time. They didn't actually
Yeah.
give a fuck if humanity was saved or not, which is why and how they got opened up to indoctrination in the first place, and why they became
That's
tools of
why-
the Reaper in 3.
That's why he didn't want you to blow up the Reaper base.
Yeah.
And the human Reaper that was being made is because the elusive man wanted to use that to their advantage to ultimately be the one to take over the rest of the galaxy.
Yeah, and I think he was already indoctrinated.
It's
the elusive
possible.
man
It's
himself.
definitely possible.
I don't know. It just felt too.
I mean, look
and
at his
I'm gonna get
eyes.
flack
The,
for
the
this,
whole
it
entire
felt
game.
it felt too Lord of the Ringsy. You know, it went from like a lot of decisions, and this also. I also don't like how Renegade became bad choice and Paragon became good choice in the third game. But it just felt
always
like it went
was,
from-
dude. Look at the names: Renegade and Paragon. It always was.
Well, no, like in the first game, in the first game, and kind of in the second game, Renegade was the way I like to view it is you had like Renegade was, like a more bloodthirsty Kirk, and then Paragon was Picard. You had like the moral altruistic
that's your
route.
problem. It's how you were choosing to view it as opposed to how it's written.
Well, because look at it this way: when Rex was when the point where it was like you had to save Rex's life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You either going to strong arm him by punching him in the fucking face and telling him to knock his shit off, or you're going to try to reason with him with with your basically your morals and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so you like, and if you didn't have high one or the other, your ass is fucked. His ass died.
Yeah.
So it was always set up as a good versus evil option. Now, I'm not saying that just because you're a renegade doesn't mean you're 100% evil.
No,
But
it's just
you
Shadow,
had
he
to-
wants
you-
to be evil.
You had to get balls deep in the first game in one or the other, or the game would not turn out the way it was supposed to for Mass Effect 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God,
you know,
it's
and
just
that
so
was
boring.
also that's a system that BioWare has been using for fucking ever. They started
Yeah.
this shit with KOTOR.
Yep, Knights of the Old Republic, one of the best
And
games in the
actually-
history of the world.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that
definitely.
wasn't even the first BioWare game that had a system like that. It was just the most popular of them. at
I
the
loved
time.
KOTOR. I literally bought
Still haven't played
an Xbox, but I bought an Xbox just for KOTOR before I shipped off to the military my last year of high school.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Fucking god damn, that
Good
was
game.
a fucking. That's still one of the best fucking RPGs in history.
I would
I
argue
still have not played it.
personally that KOTOR
You
2
haven't played what?
I haven't played KOTOR either, and it sounds
Well, okay,
like
in my look, okay, here's my defense. My brother and I.
Oh.
Yeah, Kat, I don't think you'd like the gameplay of KOTOR much at all.
No, she wouldn't. It's too much dialogue.
Well, and it's
Okay.
turn-based.
It's turn-based.
oh,
yeah, so-
turn-based. Oh
It's-
dear
It's
God.
turn-based, and all the damage is based on the tabletop D20 system.
I know, it's so great, isn't it?
Boring.
And you
my
can
bro-
get
Your
neck
face
deep
is
in the
boring!
numbers.
Okay, so here's what I can say in my defense.
I'm kidding. Kat,
My
I'm sorry.
brother and I had like a free trial access to it on the Xbox, on our Xbox, and we tried it on our Xbox, and it didn't feel right because it just didn't feel right to either of us. So,
Because it's turn-based and there's a lot of dialogue.
well,
Obviously,
also it's an
Shadow, you
older
have to-
game.
You can,
It's
It's
also an
also-
older game.
you
It's
can
also
play
the
it-
closest that video games get to actual tabletop experiences.
Yeah,
Um,
and it was
and
massively
then
popular.
I got
Massively
my computer,
popular.
and then I got my computer, and
Shut
really
up.
boring.
the only game I've really played on my computer was Total War Warhammer. So
Primal says I'm about that action. Me too. Hashtag me too.
yeah. Anyway, long story short, it's one of those games where it's like I need to fucking play it, but at the same time, I am focused on other like
Do it.
Star
It's on,
Troopers
it's on Steam for like
Extermination.
$10.
I know I can. I know I can. I'll
Stop
probably.
being,
for
stop
my
being fucking
money,
baby nuts and let's do it.
for
I'll
my
ask
money, gameplay wise, I think KOTOR 2 improved on the first one significantly, but there were
I
some
agree.
issues that I had with the ending of the game that I'm not going to go into for spoiler's sake. But
Mhm.
Okay.
but
Wait, isn't
yeah,
Star Wars: The Old Republic free?
Star Wars:
the Old Republic's an MMO, dude.
It's an MMO.
Right, but isn't there
and
like a campaign?
there is in a sense, yes, and when they justified doing the Old Republic, they said it's supposed to be like Knights of the Old Republic 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because it's supposed to go on forever. To
Yeah,
where
lost-
fans just were like, I just want Knights of the Old Republic 3. You're supposed
That's
to
what
finish the
happened with
fucking
me.
story.
Yeah, that's
And
what
so
happened with me. I never got
the
into it because
Old
of that.
Republic is an MMO is great. It's fun. They have adapted it to where it's more Fallout 76, where you don't need a team to go through and conquer these dungeons, which is one argument I had. So Fallout 76, you can play the whole entire fucking game by yourself. You don't ever have to run into another person and say, "Hey, help me." So they have made that better, but no, I still to this date want Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Yep.
Finish the
Okay.
fucking story.
Well, I mean, do you want them to do it now?
Well, no, not now.
No, not now.
They were gonna, dude. They were gonna redo Knights of
Yes.
the Old Republic here not that long ago, and the people that they had writing that shit were
Yep.
rewriting everything, and it was going. To
Oh,
be
no.
fucking
And it was like,
disaster.
I
it was
heard,
like,
and I
hold
would-
up. Oh, I was just gonna say, and hold up. Knights of the Old Republic, the original KOTOR, had thousands of hours of voice dialogue
Mhm.
from the actors. So they were gonna bring some of the original actors back in,
The ones who were
including
still alive. Yeah.
including Bastila, to re-record, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Oh
I
God.
I remember talking with some. I remember I was like, they're gonna fucking ruin it. They're rewriting stuff, and some people went, well, they need to definitely like change some things because they're gonna be updating the combat and and I'm like, what the fuck does changing combat have to do with rewriting the story?
Not
Well,
a
they
bad
need to
thing.
update it. What the fuck needs to be updated? Well, you're just
No.
that's one of the things
It
that
was
actually
the-
made me leave the Star Wars subreddit because I'm like,
it wasn't a
you're a bunch of
remaster. It
fucking
was they were
morons.
rewriting it, and
Yeah.
and they got so much backlash that the writer that everybody had a big problem with because apparently she's a giant raging woke
Oh,
piece of shit.
God.
She dropped out.
Good.
Yeah,
Thank
but,
God.
you
these
know-
people
And
are
it got
insane.
the news about this game came out like what, a year ago or more?
2 years. I think.
Yeah. Well, the news about them talking about doing it was about 3 years ago, and then knowing they were definitely going to do it was about 2 years ago, and then she
Well,
dropped out about a year ago.
Then they had like the little teaser trailer with Revan's face.
Yep.
And everybody was like, they're gonna make Revan a woman, even
Oh,
though
God.
canonically he's a man.
Mhm.
And
Not
the,
only that,
and
but
then,
they were going to make Bastila the focus, and
Yeah.
I heard about that.
even though she's the one who's meant to fall to the dark side because she's because she's headstrong. And
Brian?
what?
spoilers.
Sorry.
What?
But
I'm
yeah,
literally- I'm literally
Game
buying the
Club-
game right now.
Yeah, I got you. But there's a character named Basilisk Shawn. She's integral
I
to
know
the
that.
story, and they
just
were
didn't know
going
she
to
went
make
dark
her
side.
the sole focus, despite the fact that she is not the fucking player character.
Yeah. That was a complaint I heard about Cyberpunk, where people were like, they make Johnny is the focus of the game, Johnny's the main character. I didn't get that vibe. Johnny just felt like a fucking asshole.
All right, look, I'll make a deal with you. I'm gonna
Okay.
Shadow. I'm gonna bring you on, which we already talked about. The terms of conditions for you being a part of our Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon streams is you have to play Knights of the Old Republic, and you have to start. I don't
Shit,
care
yeah.
I don't care if you play 30 minutes a day and that's all you have time for. You need to progress through it because you are missing out on one of the best video game experiences ever.
Tell you what, I'll start streaming it.
I mean, you want to stream it
Yeah,
by all
great.
means, dude. I'm telling you what, dude, you are going to love it. Now, Kat's another story because she's a weirdo.
Look,
Yeah.
I do.
Because she has a
I don't-
vagina or something. I don't know.
No, actually, I don't fit in with the other people with vaginas. Apparently, they like story too.
Somebody should
Because
correct
they
that.
have
Nothing wrong with-
taste.
Nothing wrong with a good story.
Look,
it doesn't mean you can't
no.
play shoot 'em up games. One of my favorite games of all time is GoldenEye 007.
No, look, it's not that I don't hate story, okay? Doom has a story to a degree. Destiny has a story. I
Perfect
don't
Dark had a
like-
great story.
Mhm.
I don't care for the dialogue trees and the long where the main focus is that. Like I said, Doom has a story. Technically, Destiny has a story. You have cutscenes, going through it. I don't mind. Borderlands has a story. I don't mind a story. I just don't like the fact that when it's dialogue trees and you have to make decisions and you can romance a character.
Okay, so you like a more established narrative that you go through then,
And I
rather
don't
than
want
one
to.
that
I
allows
don't
you
want
to
to
change how
spend
things
the
turn out.
majority of the time playing a game. Maybe because I'm old fashioned. I mean, I'm beginning to suspect one
You-
type of video
you
game I
wanna-
like is
You want to follow a linear story, is what you're saying. You don't.
Yeah, you don't want
you-
agency in the story. You want it to treat it
Because-
like a book or a movie. Is that
yeah,
what
but
is
at
that
the
what you're
same
saying?
time, but at the same time, I want the focus. I'm more focused on the action and the gameplay. There could be a story going on, but the majority of the time, I want to be killing stuff. No, I mean I play games with story, and I enjoy every now and then going on Twitter and whining about how sucky the story in Destiny 2 is, and the stupid 8 artifacts turning into a cup of tea so Osiris can get himself some hot, cold steel robot was stupid, and the stupid story was stupid, and and the only people who are arguing with me
You're
are
just being trans robotic
yeah
or a robophobe, whatever you want to call it.
Transformers more than meets the eye.
Synphobe, because it would be a synthetic life form, so synphobe.
I see your bigotry. It's cool. It's fine.
Hey,
wow.
I have accepted
We're on a stream with a bigot.
and
Look, I-
broadcast my bigotry and embrace it at this point.
So here's my opinion on synthetic life. I sided with the Institute in Fallout 4.
Ew.
Ew,
Dude,
even
Look.
I know better than that.
Can I look? Can I give my rationale? Can I give my rationale?
No, there's no rationale. Go
There
watch
is a rationale.
Oxporn. No, there isn't. They're evil. Go watch
The
Oxporn.
railroad were a bunch of losers who were never actually going to get
Oh, I
anything
agree
done.
with you on that.
The Brotherhood, honestly, I didn't. They were. I had heard some criticisms about them, so I was honestly waiting until I played 3 before I did anything with Fallout 4's Brotherhood because I'd heard they were better
Really?
in 3.
yeah, they're better in New
Fuck.
Vegas too, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the Minutemen, I wanted to do the Minutemen, but it's just like I look at them, and even back then I was like, there's so much more that could be done with you than go find a settlement, cross half the map, and complete an objective. So that left the Institute.
the Minutemen. The whole purpose for the Minutemen was to pad out gameplay.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
Which
wait.
actually,
let me,
don't hate the building system. It's just there's too much of it.
It's the
Oh,
worst
I
part of
hate
the
it.
fucking that whole game.
Wait.
The worst part of that game. It's not enough that you have a massive fucking map with DLC maps to explore, but you got to keep going back to the same fucking places that you already looted the shit out of because oh my gosh, there something bad might happen to the settlers there.
Well, no,
No.
actually, personally,
A settlement needs your help.
yeah.
No,
you,
let
you,
me-
you
let
ever
me
get that? You get that notification, and then so you go to that place, and then
And
all of
you-
a sudden you get 6 more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I can't
you
save
there's
everybody.
there's a timed system that you have to help the settlement or they lose.
Yeah.
Or
No,
depending on the
wait,
strength
wait,
rating, because I've had
wait.
some where
Ugh.
they resist. But so, and then I play
Wait,
Fallout
wait.
3, and I decide I'm never going to play a Brotherhood campaign because the only way for Maxon to have skipped the chain of the command the way he did after the events of Fallout 3 is to have killed all of your allies in Fallout 3. And I could not stand with a Brotherhood that allowed that to happen, so I refuse to play a Fallout 4 Brotherhood run.
Well, the thing
Lion's
is
pride
that
for fucking life.
the thing is that obviously after Elder Lions disappeared, the Brotherhood of Steel came back together with the Brotherhood well, no, not just the
And the
but
Outcasts.
the Outcasts. Thank you, that's what I was looking for. And the
Yeah.
Outcasts left Lions Brotherhood of Steel because he was actually trying to help the people of the Wasteland instead of just further their cause.
Yeah.
So that's why and then of course if you play Fallout New Vegas you get more to that story on what happened. So in Fallout 4, that is no longer Lions Brotherhood of Steel. That is Maxon's Brotherhood of Steel that goes and comes up to the Commonwealth. So they've gone back to their roots. They're very against any type of mutants, whether even if it's a super mutant, an intelligent super mutant.
To be fair, in 4
and-
there are suicide bombing super mutants with fucking nukes strapped to their chest.
Yeah, no, I
I know.
understand that.
I hated them, some bitches.
Like I
First-
don't
All right,
have
wait. Let
You
me
just hear beep 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 beep, and you're like, "Fuck, where are they?"
basically yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Let me amend that. All right, I did not 100% hate Fallout 4. I haven't played Fallout 3 yet or Fallout New Vegas, but I did not 100% hate Fallout. I started to play Fallout 4.
Do you have a
wait.
PS5?
Yes, I do.
If you have PlayStation Plus, you can if you have like a subscription, you can play like 3 New Vegas 4.
I own the
76.
games. I have it on Xbox 360.
Oh, okay.
No, but so I did not
Kidding.
100% hate Fallout 4. I'll admit the way I played is probably not the way it was meant to be. I like the combat. Like I never used VATS. I
loved VATS because just like you'd be like, and then all of a sudden it'd be like,
oh no, well, I want to do.
I loved it.
That's
no, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong, it looks cool, but I want it to be a first-person shooter. So I want to shoot the enemies myself. So I didn't use VATS. Now I would rush through the dialogue because one of the reasons that I like Fallout 4 is because I like post-apocalyptic settings.
She probably shot Preston Garvey on site.
I joined the Minutemen.
You would actually like Fallout 76 because it's online. VATS is not the same as like the rest of the Fallout games. You don't stop. There's to a story.
There is a story. Yeah, no, there's a story.
Dude,
no,
I alpha and beta tested the game. There's an original story there.
Yeah,
People just didn't like it because they're like, there's nobody to talk to. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. Like, it's literally, it's what would happen if a nuclear bomb went off in the world and then like everything was wiped out. Like, I love the feel of desolation.
I get that's the point. That's just from my personal perspective, having played 3 New Vegas and 4, it does not feel like a Fallout game. It feels like a MMO with a Fallout skin on it. When you personally, when I play Fallout,
traditional Fallout game.
Yeah,
I played a little Fallout 76. When I played it, I got a little lost. I wasn't sure what I was doing, but I didn't mind it. No, my only thing is Fallout 4. One of my problems with Fallout 4 was the fact that all the building, and then at one point there's that woman who's married. I keep forgetting her name, and it was like I didn't even know that your colony could get invaded.
Raided?
So all of a sudden, raided. So all of a sudden I found out that she died, and I was like, thank God.
Oh, Marcy.
I also hated the fact that they would go into my house, and I would go in there and I'd find one of them sleeping on my bed. It's like, excuse me, this is my house. So I would actually set up all this stuff so they couldn't get in.
So
avoid
that problem,
it's not at the top. I figured out how to avoid it. I would move stuff in front of the door.
Well, no, you could also assign them a bed.
See, I did that. I had issues with the old psychic lady, right? Sitting in my living room all the time, so I OD'd her on drugs.
No, but
you could also build her a chair that was like that's where she would sit, and then for like the bed thing, you could assign people beds. But
No,
Sure.
but I don't care.
But
It's
my
my
way was
house.
more
Even
fun.
if you assign them a bed, they go into your goddamn house. It's my house. Actually, you know what?
which
I
is why
want
you give them a job.
which is one of the reasons why, honestly, that's why I
Gotta
started.
give
I
them
think I
what you
started
give
on Xbox and I moved to PC because I wanted a mod that would let me turn the vault into a house. Because
That-
honestly, if I
Actually,
were
there,
living in
there,
a
there is a DLC that allows you to basically turn an old vault into a new home base. Yeah.
no,
Uh,
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
when you
called
think
like
about-
Vault-Tec, right? The
Yeah.
Vault-Tec DLC or something like that.
Yeah.
no, because when you think about it, if you just emerged from Vault 76, would you go home to your home, or would you actually keep the vault as the most
You
secure
mean Vault
location?
101, right?
Vault 101. This is the most secure location that you would have, and the place
I
that
mean,
you would
but-
want to make your home base.
101
There's
is
also the
3.
trauma.
111 is 4.
Yeah, wouldn't you want to
111,
remain
yeah,
in
that's what I meant.
one?
But there's
wouldn't you
also
wanna
the
make one-
associated trauma of losing your family.
Dude, let her finish.
No, but
Sorry, I'm
even
sorry.
no. When it comes down to it, no matter the associated trauma of losing your family, you are in a wasteland. The moment you step out there, you're going to see mutants and monsters and whatever. Logically, that's one of the reasons why I want to make Vault 111 a player home, because to me, the place I would be staying and using as my fortress isn't some stupid half unprotected town, street. It would be the vault. I would put all my stuff there. I know that no one could raid it because I'm the only one who could get into the vault. So that's the only reason I started playing it on PC now. Again, it's not 100% my play style. I haven't gone back to it in a while. BioShock is another one of my favorite video games, BioShock 2. I haven't played BioShock Infinite. Those are the type of games I prefer. But Fallout 4 wasn't like a hate. It was a okay.
Sure. I got a question for those of you who played Fallout 3. Tenpenny Tower Quest. Did you push the button or not?
My first game I did because I wanted to play a villain.
That's the one where shit, it's been a long time, dude.
That's
It's-
you
it's
get the
got
choice
all-
between Burke
it's
or
got-
Sheriff.
No,
Okay.
it's Mr. Big like runs Tenpenny Tower, right? And he has you run a bunch of stupid side quests underground. And eventually, you get enough notoriety that you can go before him, and then he offered his lackey offers you a choice about whether or not to push this button. If you push the button, the undetonated nuke in Megaton goes off.
That's right. No, I didn't do it.
I did it again. I did it the first time because I
don't-
wanted to play a villain, and I got
I
like
don't ever
halfway
play
through
a
the game.
villain.
I
got
did it
halfway
just to
through
see what the
game
mushroom cloud, how the mushroom cloud rendered it. It was glorious.
Oh, dude, it was beautiful. And then I got halfway through the game, and I was like, I am disgusted by myself.
Did
So
you
I
ever go back to
started killing-
Megaton
so
after that?
I started killing every slaver I could. I got the perk that let me turn in slaver ears to the liberators. I went to freaking Palm Springs or whatever the fuck that place was called. Slaughtered every. I still had whatever the.
So
fuck,
you felt bad and you decided to spend the rest of your game time making up for it.
Well, this was also after the character's dad died. After telling him he was a
Yeah.
fucking disappointment.
So did you ever go back to Megaton after you nuked it?
Yes.
It's so awesome. You can't get within 10
Yes.
feet of the place without dropping dead radiation.
Wait, I don't remember her name. I know it's not Willow, but the slave you can buy.
Hmm.
Even if you go good, she still like sides with you. And I gave her the fucking antagonizer armor. And so you've got like this dude in power armor running around killing every evil person he can with this like mind broken slave in an ant costume. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on in the wasteland? I wish I had the ability to mod, because I would add a mod in Fallout 4 where you could encounter the Lone Wanderer like this, and it would just be like
Yeah.
the weirdest fucking shit ever.
Second question. For those of you who played through Fallout 3, Harold,
Mm-hmm.
how did you handle that?
I had him live, and I argued that, hey, dude, you can bring life back to the wasteland.
No, I killed Harold
How?
by taking out his heart.
Yeah, did you set it on fire?
What was the other option? How to do it?
You could just like shoot it or beat it until it.
Yeah,
fell-
I
until
think
it
that's
killed
what
him,
I think. I think I did the quickest way possible, whichever
but
that was.
if you use a flamer, it sets his whole body on fire, and he screams and screams and screams.
No, I didn't
It's so
do that.
fucked up.
This was
Yeah.
when I decided to be a good guy, and I was like,
Well,
okay.
Harold was I believe he was in Fallout 2, right?
Yeah, he was. He was
Yeah,
in
he was-
Fallout 1 as well.
He's
Oh,
in
okay.
all of the Fallout games except for he's not in 4, but yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he
you can meet him in Vegas.
travels. He travels across the wasteland from the old NCR, and then of course that's when he basically gets to DC and he becomes
Puts down roots.
Yeah, he literally puts down roots.
Yeah, I was
Cat
actually,
has no idea what the fuck we're talking about. So he's like,
No,
huh?
I have a rough
actually-
idea. I know who Harold is
a
because
while ago.
I listened to
sorry.
Oxhorn, so I know. I have
Oh
a rough
yeah, we've
idea.
talked about this. Yeah, I like Oxhorn too.
So
Yeah.
if you
Shadow
do that
doesn't.
quest, if you do that quest right when you kill him, it actually starts bringing some green life back to the wasteland.
If you kill him,
If you do it right, if you don't fucking kill him the most painful, horrific way possible, like I did, yes. Yeah, you can douse him with this stuff that makes him like super potent or whatever. Oh no, wait, that's the one. That's where you have to let him live. That's right. Never mind.
yeah, I let him live.
Yeah,
And I
you
was
let him
actually-
live, and then you know douse him with this super potent shit that makes him just like breed trees.
Yeah, actually, for I was like one of the first writing projects I ever like really focused on was a Fallout 3 fanfic, and I stopped working on it just because of like someone had like I was getting comments left, and I was like that fed my ego, and so I ended up dropping that project for some other stuff, and I could never go back because I realized that I had stumbled into something good, and instead of taking the time to actually make it amazing, I let my ego get ahead of me in writing, which is why now I am super fucking cautious about what I share with people because I want it to be perfect. But so one of my original plans with that was he was going to the main character was his goal was basically to complete his father's life's work, which was to bring life back to the wasteland in the form of clean water and the trees. And I was going to have a chapter where he's like talking to Harold, like he goes back and just chats with Harold, just like sits down in the grove and has a conversation with him. And Maxon was going to show back up and just start burning the fucking trees. By the way, Maxon is like a kid in 3. He's like 10. So this is like a weird fucking timeline. But so
I don't think it is necessarily because it would take him time to get to like say the Commonwealth.
Right, but it's 10 years. It's like 10 years after the events of Fallout 3 that Fallout 4 happens. So he's like 20, but he looks like he's in his 40s.
I mean, give or
he
take.
would look like
yeah.
me. He would look like me if it was accurate.
Sure, give or take. But you also got to keep in mind this is a post-apocalyptic world, and I doubt that timekeeping is up to the same standards that it was before the war.
No, it's with the Pit Boys. The Pit Boys work perfectly. It's like 73. It's like 72 in Fallout 3 on the Pit Boy, and then it's 82 in
the technology still works. You know, obviously the Brotherhood of Steel. Obviously, pre-war America, it's obviously it's an Atom Punk style game, so it's like a very 50s offshoot, even though it takes place. The bombs dropped in 2077. You know.
Sorry.
Well, I'd say it comes from the if we had progressed with atomic power but had never really changed the aesthetic of the 50s.
Yeah, which is one thing I love about it. But what New Vegas is like 80 years after Fallout 3. Fallout 4 is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10, 15 years after the first one. And then Fallout 76 takes place like what 50 years after the bombs drop.
It's like 20 or 30, I think, or something like that. It's like a lot.
20 years
I think because it was supposed to be like 10 years.
Like
I remember they were supposed to only be closed for like 10 years and they're supposed to open, but I think something happens
where
it
20 years. It was 20 years. No,
it ended up being 20 years.
So actually,
there's a malfunction or something like that in the
vault.
No. So the vaults were all experiments. Very few of them were actually meant to hold people in them. So
that's a very different story.
Never meant to be open.
That's also
I'm sure of. Fallout 76 was meant to be, or the vault was meant to be opened after 20 years. The reason is also that it didn't open late is because they're preparing for Reclamation Day, so they expected that date. That I'm 100% sure.
Yeah,
Fallout 76 was meant to be 20 years.
Yeah, I forgot about Reclamation Day, but
actually,
that's also one reason. Sorry, Shadow, real quick. That's one reason, Cat, you wouldn't be able to live in the vault because it was only designed to last for that long.
Oh no, but what I mean is just to. At least I don't know about Fallout 76, but
even as the home base, there's no way because the vaults were literally designed to only last a certain amount of time. If they were one of the ones that was meant to actually help humanity survive and not be some wicked experiment. Yeah.
Oh, no,
the majority were wicked experiments.
Well, I think that means more like.
Hey,
sorry.
I can tell you what I meant.
No, I'm just trying to mansplain.
Well, I'm gonna womansplain to you, boy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
he
Captain.
mean
Love you.
he means baby nut splain.
Oh wow.
Yes.
All right.
Whoppers.
I meant it as so. I know the vault in Fallout 76 seals. You cannot go back into it. It even has nothing to do with whether it's prepared or not. I know that one is meant to seal behind you. You cannot go back into it. I think you do. The later DLC lets you go back into it, but
No, you can
initially,
go back anyway. You just got to press the red button in the shack, and you can just it'll activate. You can step on the platform, go back in.
okay. Well, I remember in the story it said you couldn't go back, and that it was, but
Oh wait, 76.
Fallout 76, the
76.
Oh, I thought you
vault.
meant
you
4.
can-
Never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Fallout 4, on the other hand, you can go back. So I
Yeah,
did not mean to
76
use it
can.
as a place because I knew most of the supplies were gone in Fallout 4, as a place to bring my stuff and hoard it, and as a safe place to, like I would go out into the wasteland, but then go back to the vault and shut the door, and it's a safe place where I don't have to worry about where I sleep at night or any of that because the door is sealed and no one can come in.
No, I
Also,
feel
a source of clean water. You keep getting clean water.
I feel what
Okay.
you're saying. But, mechanically in the game that makes sense. But however, in the actual lore of it, like you can't go back because 76 was not meant to be survived in that long. So like Vault 101, the only reason Vault 101 in Fallout 3 lasted as long as it did is because they lied and they kept sending people out to bring supplies back in without secretly not telling people. That's
Also
how.
allowing
Oh
genetic.
no, well that's what I was
allowing
saying.
Genetic information.
Fallout 76, I know the vault is unreturnable. It was designed
Yeah.
to shut down. Fallout 4, the vault is you can go back into it. It's not designed to be sealed so that you can't go back into it. And while I know the supplies are gone, the whole idea was just to use it as the building itself is a place of security, and then you go out and, like with Fallout 3, get supplies and go back. I mean, you want a place where you can lie your head down at night and not have to worry that you're going to get attacked while you're sleeping. The fresh water is still working. Well, the clean water is still working in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I'll give 76 this. When you build your own base, you can build defenses and stuff like that, and you don't have a lot of problems, and also you have your own little personal footlocker that only you can access and know. And unfortunately, it used to be where some people could actually try to steal your stuff. There are people who got really irritated on it because there was a glitch where people are trying to hack it, and so they would end up stealing, instead of stealing like a little bit of stuff, just like minutely, like supplies and stuff.
Like
they were stealing everything, like all your shit. And then of course they return. Yeah, it was bad. It was a really bad glitch. So they made it to where where you can't steal anybody's stuff. But if you do kill a character in the world who decides to engage in melee combat with you, when you loot their body, you don't get to pick up any of their stuff. You just get a few supplies here and there, like gears and glue and all that. And so it was a big problem. It was a big problem. So no, I think 76. I get where you're coming from, but it's not for everybody because it's an MMO. I've played numerous. The first MMO I ever played was Star Wars Galaxies. Who remembers that?
I know it's a thing.
Yeah, I remember it, but I didn't play it.
I played Star Wars Galaxies where you couldn't be a Jedi. And then, of course, after that, I played Dungeons and Dragons Online, which came out a couple of years afterwards. And so,
You've been streaming that, right?
I've streamed a little bit of it. I've been kind of having a Fallout 76 itch. So I think I'm going to suspend the Monday stream and do Fallout for a little bit because I'm just getting kind of itchy. Because
one.
Ooh, what do you? No. I need to get back into, now that I'm back and I'm past all that nonsense. Because I didn't take my computer. I couldn't make any videos when I was home. Because I was like, look, this is for family. I'm gonna be here for 4 days. 4 days turned into fucking 8. And I was super pissed off because I had so many back videos to make. And I mean, I'm still not even done. So, and
do you stream games on a different channel than Talk? Because I don't get gaming notifications on Talk.
I stream them mainly on Legion Games 2076. I will.
That's why I haven't been getting those.
I'll broadcast them to Legion Talk and Legion Wire, but half the time I'll just delete them afterwards because I'm just trying to get those stream hours up.
Yeah, I gotcha. Because I've been it's like happening in like 2 days, and those don't get nothing. Okay, there you go. Those are the streams because they're like on Legion Talk, but they never happen. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Legion Talk is pretty much for Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and Friday Night's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much because that's pop culture only. We barely dabble into any kind of politics unless it encroaches, which it does.
Yeah.
Cat knows that all too well. But I don't want to take over the stream with my talk. So
No, it's no worries, man.
I'll probably bounce in 15 minutes. So
Yeah,
I think that'd be a good time to also end things, just
Yeah.
because like we've been going for what, like 2
and
hours
somebody
now.
has a job.
It's
All of
almost
us have a
3.
job.
Yeah, we all
Um,
have jobs.
all have
I've been
yeah,
homesick
I-
personally, but yeah.
they
No,
took
well,
our
I mean,
jobs.
no, well, I mean, the other thing with Fallout, I mean, I know that they can't in the role playing sense. Okay, so I know in Fallout. I know in Fallout 76, technically other characters can't kill you, but when you're in that mode and you're playing the game, it's like you feel like anyone can attack you. So that's why I really like the idea of using the vault as a place that no one can come and find you.
Yeah,
But that's
no, I feel you.
Oh, so kind of
Um,
like this was something I was saying, and we kind of like left this, but I do want to bring this back up. So it was like to explain why Maxon looked the way he did in Fallout 4, which he looks like a dude Ryan's age, like 30s, 40s, but he's 10 in 3, which is canonically 10 years before the events of Fallout 4. What I had happen is my player character in power armor with all the shit that you like, the ant mite and the like mechanical augmentations you can get in Fallout 3, fucking like wailed into him with his fist. So just add like basically there was nothing left of Maxon's face, and
You
then
have
they
a
did
power
facial.
fist?
No,
or,
with just like
or
the
you
power
could just
armor.
say that you're living in a nuclear irradiated wasteland, so undoubtedly people have, they'll probably look older simply because they're living in a nuclear irradiated wasteland.
Well, not
Well,
just
no, but
that,
his
but
brother-
he's also the de facto head of a very stressful, I imagine, organization in a time of post-apocalypse. He
all of the
probably
Brotherhood of
ages
Steel.
quickly anyway, like anybody
Yeah.
in that kind of position would.
Because
I don't know. It just never. If he looked like early 30s, I might buy that. But he looked like late 30s, early 40s. So in my head, because you've got Pinkerton like right next to the Brotherhood of Steel's base, it made sense that he got plastic surgery. All right, what would cause him to need plastic surgery? And then I basically decided that he did something to cross my player character, who decided to break his fucking face. And I just want this is very off topic, but it was on topic back when I was going to bring it up. And let's jump back to 76. Sorry about that.
No, well,
oh yeah, I haven't looked at him in a while. He's definitely looks weathered. Well, he also has scars too, so he's been
He soloed a Death Claw without power armor, apparently.
yeah. He looks
Well,
like
and
he's
the
been around the
Brotherhood
block a few
own-
times.
Yeah, the Brotherhood also only respects strength.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, he also murdered Sarah Lyons.
he did.
Yeah.
That's another reason I fucking hate the Brotherhood.
Oh, I hate the true Brotherhood of Steel. Has anybody played what is it? Fallout Brotherhood of Steel?
Yeah, I have a copy.
No.
It's
I think I
awesome.
have it.
Yeah, you can get it on Steam.
I've
They-
got
I've got Fallout
I have a
Tactics.
PS2 copy.
Oh, do you really?
Yes, I do.
Jesus, that's
Samael
weird.
doesn't play anything on the newer stuff. He only plays on the older consoles.
I don't play anything on PC at all, so I don't have access to Steam or anything like that.
Yeah, he
Well,
got shit for this.
Quite frankly, I found out that playing stuff on the PC, like is actually pretty easy. I just have a PS4 controller plugged in, and it fucking works easy.
I have
anybody-
a laptop that has a hard time running StreamYards.
See. Okay, so yeah, I got 2 gaming laptops. Cost me a decent pennies for my setup.
Yeah,
Because
this one's like $270. It's not that expensive.
Oh, hey Samuel. A tweet you made has no context anymore. I just randomly pulled up Twitter, and
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's either they protected that account. I know they blocked me. I know who you're
the
talking
tweet
about.
is unavailable. No Lardass land.
Yeah. Okay, so she deleted the tweet
in the
then.
description, and it's gone.
Yeah, she must have deleted the tweet because that's all right. I got a screenshot.
Yeah, no worries. No, I'm like, hey, this has no context. I think I know what it is because I saw it
it was-
earlier.
It was some chick going on and on about how obesity or obese is a slur.
For black people.
And it's like, no, it's not. Lardass is a slur. Land
Yeah.
whale is a slur.
Well, no, I
Oh,
saw someone,
yes, I saw that
someone
one.
argue obese was a slur for black people, and I'm like, if you're associating that word with them, that's on you. Because
It's just more victim points. It's just people
It's
who are like,
bullshit.
stop making fun of me because I'm fat. Well, don't be fat.
yeah,
Well, and if somebody were to say this, well, I have a thyroid condition, I have to take medicine. Like, I'm like, oh, you know what? God bless you. I'm so sorry. Like, that would be something different. But if you can't put the cookies down, which is one of the reasons, well, I don't eat cookies, but if you can't put the pizza down, like that's where my problem is, like, yeah, that's your fucking fault. So you know what? Most people are like, maybe I should stop doing this and I should try to be healthier and go take a run, a walk.
yeah.
It's not hard.
Personally, well, like the steps to do it aren't hard. Personally, it's just from my perspective. Like, I know I need to improve. It's just like the motivation. Like, it's not like when I actually get around to doing it, I don't have problems. It's just, well, I got to do this first. I got to do that first. Procrastination's a bitch.
Well,
And
I think
unfortunately-
everybody definitely procrastinates. What's something that when you think about, like, hey, I have to do this, you're like, hey, there's no option. I either do it or like there's no option not to do it. Does that make sense? Like going to
Yeah.
work or something
Yeah.
like that. Like, look at it like that. Look at it like your job. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go to McDonald's for lunch. Maybe what I should do is pack my lunch, take a banana, take a tuna sandwich or something.
Oh, I can do those. I do that. Fairly. I'm
Go to
talking
the
about exercise
gym
part.
afterwards or before work. See, I'm one of
That's
those
the
people.
part I run into problems with.
I'm one of the people that, like, when I'm tired after work, it's really hard for me to want to get motivated. But that was the best time for me to actually go to the gym when I was at my previous job, because even though it was physical, I was not in the house. I would take the long way around home so I'd pass the gym, so I'd force myself to go. Because if it came to getting up in the morning and be like, you need to go to the gym, I'd be like going, yeah, but I could probably sleep for like another hour and a half because I don't have to get up and go to work until. So you got to kind of work with your strengths.
Yeah.
And it does take sacrifice. So,
Yeah.
but just look at it this way. Do you want to have heart issues like so many people are having, or would you rather? And I'm just saying this in general, like, not just because of certain things. And I know that Kat and I've talked about that. Obesity is a real problem. There are people who are dropping dead because of obesity now.
Oh yeah, I know. Also, my family's got
crushed under
my
their own weight.
aunt on my mom's side. Like, I don't know. She was like a star athlete in high school. I don't know how she was later in life. I haven't seen too many pictures of her. Sadly passed away due to a heart complication when I was very, very young. So there is that threat of that existing in me. So obesity, alcoholism, smoking, that is off the table. Two of those things I got under control. I don't smoke, I don't drink.
Man,
but-
I mean, that you gotta take into account too. Like, yes, there's probably a genetic risk of those things happening, but if you take steps to mitigate that, you're probably a lot less likely to run into it. And there's also a chance that some of that shit's just going to happen. It's just genetic, So like, you got to roll the dice your way.
Yeah, no, I'm not
like
blaming-
myself, for example, right? I'm prone to like pancreatic failure, genetically speaking, right? I am also prone to addiction in all its many forms, and I am prone to cancer to a shockingly wide degree of types of cancer, as well as schizophrenia, that sort of thing that runs in my family as well, and all these things. And to date, I'm still good. So
let me correct myself. I'm not like scared of it happening, but at that same time, I am I'm not smoking because I know that might be a problem. Like, separate from the fact that smoking itself could kill you, but the fact that I do have that chance of risk makes smoking less likely. So I'm not going to smoke. Just
right.
like if
I'm not saying that you should smoke. I'm just saying that.
I was just clarifying. I'm not scared of my heart just stopping, but I do take precautions to avoid.
Right, and by not smoking, that's not a bad thing. I mean, just in general for your enjoyment of life, anyway. Besides, you ever start regularly going to the gym, trust me, smoking's going to be a problem. Well, it reduces your lung capacity. It reduces it fucks up a lot of stuff. I used to spar with a cigarette hanging out of my mouth in a ring, and trust me, it makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, we've been going for like I think 3 hours now. So
Yeah.
I think this is a good place to end it. I know Ryan
me
need.
just
I think
add,
Ryan needed to bail like 5 minutes ago.
Oh
I
no.
was just-
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Kat.
Kat?
I was just gonna say I commented on that on Twitter. I said that you know what, I saw family members who were too large to move, and so that is why I said I'm phobic against that. I don't want. It's not that I have anything against people who are fat. I am fat phobic because I don't want to be fat. And
Yeah.
the idea of not being able to move as someone who literally bikes 5 miles a day, the idea of not being able to move myself is terrifying. So
Right. And I wasn't calling the woman fat or anything like that. I was just saying that obese is not a slur. It's a fucking descriptor
it's
and it's a
not.
medical term. It's not a slur. I pointed out some things that were, but I was not directing them at her.
Primal says 1 more hour.
Okay, Primal. I'm pretty sure. Just to go into like the shilling, I'm pretty sure Samuel, you got a stream
sitting
tonight, right?
on the floor?
Yeah, in 2 hours.
Yeah, because I'm using this like Korean table my family has, just because like I can't set up anywhere else in the house because it's gonna be loud. So I'm in my room. I'm using a Korean table my family has, just because it's the most. Unless you want to be in my dining room or my living room and have to listen to my family shouting, which would you prefer, Ryan?
I just asked if you were on the floor. I didn't
Oh.
realize that.
I took that.
I didn't realize
I
I
was way more
I
defensive
struck
than
a
I needed
nerve
to
there.
be.
man.
Sorry. So anyway, Samuel, shill time.
Still fucking with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my name's Samuel the Infamous. You can find me on my channel, Samuel the Infamous. I used to tell a joke that I stole from Sydney Watson about that, but and then sometimes you can also find me on the channel The Exiled Lioness, which is a very political thing. So if that's not your thing, don't go there. If it is your thing, check it out. I do a show tonight with my co-host Larry
Fuck, I forgot about
Lawrence
that.
Knight, in a couple hours, 2 hours actually. Called Abyssal Musings, which is just kind of a fun little chat. And then another bigger show on Saturday afternoons called Screaming Into the Void, where Kat is a co-host. And, both of these fuckers on. And yeah, Larry was really kind of pissed about that. That was pretty funny.
I was saving that for when you were done, and I don't know how to use StreamYard.
So but that said, that's me. That's what I got coming up. There may be some gaming streams at some point if I ever get off my ass and actually do them.
Yeah. So in response to you claiming that your co-host Larry, wait, wrong one.
Hey, so you can't just play that shit without context.
Yeah. So Joker Voice has kind of been taking over.
No, he that's not what happened. Okay, so Larry got sick and he was unable to talk because it fucked with his throat, right? So he didn't want to come on and like sound like garbage and force himself to like talk through that. So he's like, look, I'm not gonna be able to do it this week. I was like, okay. So I reached out to Joker Voice, because I figured he'd be up because he works nights. And I was like, hey man, you want to step in and fill in for me this one time? And he goes, yeah, sure. So he comes on, we had a great show and all that stuff. And ever since then, he has been giving Larry shit about how he's gunning for Larry's job.
It's also, that was like the best performing Abyssal Musings, right?
I don't know if it was the best one, but it was up there. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I have a question because I am in I'm on the page for where your live stream is up and coming. And I see that Larry posted. No, I got the link when he posted it. Kohai said, Larry, you may have gotten the link, but I was still first to comment. But however, Kohai's supposed first comment is not there. Does Larry delete comments when he's not first?
Here's the thing. If people start posting in the chat hours and hours and hours before the stream actually starts, YouTube will just clean up the comments at a certain period of time. It just does this automatically.
Okay.
So yeah, anything over like say an hour out isn't going to show up on there. And even then, sometimes if it sits there unresponded to for a long enough time, YouTube just cleans that shit up automatically. You know, and even if he does, if I catch this shit early enough, I take screenshots and send them to his phone.
Oh no, I know. I just figured Larry was getting all ass hurt about it, because he's not first.
No, they're just always
Okay.
fighting over this shit. It's
I'm
one of
gonna
the-
go with Larry was ass hurt and he's deleting comments
Yeah,
because
it's-
fuck
that's-
Larry.
no, he would not. He's a very big proponent of the First Amendment. He would never do that. But
No, I know.
it's
Larry's a funny guy, but he
Love
does-
Larry. Really good. Really
It
committed.
really crawls up his ass if you're the first guy. First, and he's like, "Who the fuck is this Riley?" Yeah,
Specifically
that
against
was the
Kohai.
best. The day I
Oh.
did that was the best. He's like, "No, fuck him. He's not in this."
Wrong way. Ryan, you got anything? You got anything you want to share?
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday night's Royal Rumble.
Yes, and we were
It-
off a week.
8
Amazing
p.m.
show.
Eastern Standard Time. We start towards the end of Friday Night Tights. I think they're usually about 3.5 hours deep in that. So we usually get a lot of trickle from them. We do kind of the same thing. We don't always cover the same topics, but definitely it's in the neighborhood of pop culture. It's a lot of fun. It's a panel show, and I need to remember to make the link tonight because I've you got to tell people. It's like.
Yeah.
There's one there have been times that I'm like, oh shit, it's like an hour before and I haven't even fucking made the thing, and I'm like, idiot.
dude.
So-
Wait, that happens to me almost every Saturday. I'm just like, I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I got like 2 hours before I got to get this thing started. I suppose I should make that link now.
By the way, I went into my my email and I saw where it said about the stream on Monday night, 5:30, like what Central Time, and I was just like,
Yeah.
the fuck he did send it to me. I'm like, how the fuck did I remember this?
Yeah.
I forget shit all the time. It's not because I'm old. It's because I'm like fucking busy with a lot of shit. So I'm
I
gonna be
forget things because I'm
moving
a forgetful
soon too.
person.
So no, it's all good, man. Yeah, if you want to going forward, if you want to reach me, dude, like Twitter is the easiest. way to
Twitter.
do
I know
it.
how to do that now.
I fucking
So-
told you, Shadow.
And then there's also your Monday night streams, right?
Yes, which we're going to be discussing. Should be episode number 9 of Game of Thrones season 1, and we're going to invite you on to help discuss it. So if you
Yes.
I'll add you to the chat. Just make sure you watch the episode, and then of course we go through it kind of like, well, let's say slightly EFAP style, not like 10 hours long, more like maybe hour 45, 2 hours tops.
Yeah. I apologize for making those streams run long with the amount of comments I put in the chat.
No, it's usually just the episode because there's so much to dive through. Trust me, you're not a
Yeah.
nuisance, man. You're Hi, Kat.
Sure.
Okay,
Kat.
what? Who wrote that?
Cat loves Galadriel and Master Cheeks.
Oh, did you just see that?
I was playing a video game.
He changed that a
Fuck.
while ago.
I
Kill
just
him.
saw that. What the hell?
Kat, you got any things coming up?
Okay.
Any streams? Anything of importance?
So first off, Friday night's Royal Rumble with Ryan. I will be on that tomorrow. He just plugged it 8 o'clock, and then on Saturday I will be on Screaming Into the Void with Samuel. He just plugged that. I will be live streaming. Not sure what video game on Saturday morning. Trying to get on earlier, but I usually end up around 11:30. And I'll probably be live streaming on Sunday as well. In addition, and this has me a little nervous, I got invited onto a live stream on Wednesday, January 11th, with Nina Infinity.
No, that's a
I don't
good
know who that
thing.
is.
I'll be looking forward to that actually.
Yeah,
I-
Nina's
that should be good.
awesome.
I've
That's
never
good along great. That is.
met her, so I'm kind of nervous. I've never met her, and I mean, she's kind of important.
Well, you guys, I think you guys will get along because trust me, she gets grumpy about stuff too. She's had like Nick Rekieta on, and she's
I
had
know. That's why it's like, my God, she's important. I'm a nobody.
just people talking. That's all it is.
Yeah,
People
I
Um,
was
talking.
gonna say, yeah, it's just about reaching out. I almost got Rekieta on our show on Saturday, almost a couple times. It's been a near miss a couple times, but
Yeah,
so
it's
just a matter of talking.
Just do what you do on Friday night's Royal Rumble. Maybe don't rant the first time. Maybe keep it
Yeah.
slightly reserved because what show is it? What show is she having you on? Do you know which one it is?
No, she just said on Wednesday,
I think-
January 11th.
What date is that? I'm
So
a fucking-
Wednesday.
a Wednesday. That might be her breaking the narrative.
That's
Yes.
probably yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know
that-
probably
who sees
'cause-
it.
I think that's breaking the narrative. So it's more about pop culture, even a little bit of politics and stuff like that. Should be right up your alley. It's her Good Hope stream that's like Friday mornings, I think.
So that
So it's
unfortunately I'm
yeah,
at work on
yeah.
during the
No,
day.
you'll fit right in. Trust me. She'll talk about stuff you love. Well, you won't be talking about rangs of power because that's over. But yeah, she covers the same shit we do. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool. Yeah. So mostly though, I'm just gonna be playing, and I want to try and make more content. I think I'll start making more videos. I have my usual Destiny stuff. Anyway. Though I would love to meet Gary from Nerdrotic simply
Keep
because
up what you're doing, and you definitely will.
he owned a comic book store, and that is awesome. Oh, one other thing I forgot to add. So when I live stream, I I use my headset through Discord. So I open the party chat so if you're in my Discord, you can join in the conversation with me when I live stream. So like on Sunday, Alexia and at some point Shadow and Zeron were now you can't hear them, and I'm not sure if I want to make it so that the people who are with me are audible, simply because I know some people don't like it. So I don't know, because I'm not sure if Muggsykins would want to come have her voice over the live
Don't
stream.
let the stream hear us. It's amazing because Kat comes off like a crazy person. It's like she's talking to voices in her head. It's
It
amazing.
probably does come across,
Well-
especially when you start.
I would just say be careful too, because you don't want to get somebody who jumps in who maybe doesn't like you and starts
Yeah.
saying stuff bad. Unfortunately, on the internet, you have to protect yourself, and I know that sucks, but it's just the reality of it. Also, I look forward to the fact that the corpus is now trans robotic.
Yeah. On the Discord thing, I do try to like make sure that whenever we have people, like
What
I'm,
is trans robotic?
I think he means synthphobic.
No. It means that the human robot relations or whatever. I don't know.
Oh,
The robosexuals. That's what it is. Robosexuals.
Oh, hey, I actually started to write something about that, where at one point one of my characters gets dared to kiss a robot and gets zapped. And I actually write what really happens when you kiss a robot. He gets electrocuted, ends up getting CPR.
Isn't that part of the attraction?
I'm just saying, robosexual lives matter.
anyway.
Don't robo kink shame.
I'm gonna robo kink shame. I said that I'm gonna kink. If you make your kink public, I'm gonna kink shame you.
All right.
The unending
To finish things
bigotry.
off, because I know
I just
Ryan's got
can't.
to run.
I just can't do it anymore. The unending bigotry.
And I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Just because I know Ryan's got to run, let's finish this up. We got Merry Madness every Thursday, hopefully every Thursday going forward. This channel or Catch channel. I stream occasionally, and like every other day or every 3 days, I am trying to upload the Dragon Expedition series, which is a Total War Warhammer 3 modded run through. I'm on the third episode, gonna record the fourth episode sometime tonight. And because someone, I'm not gonna name who, someone is bullying me into playing Knights of the Old Republic. Expect to see that
Fucking right, baby.
being
Nuts.
live streamed randomly. Who's Wally?
Oh, Wally
Who's Wally?
from Disney.
Oh.
Wally.
Okay. So anyway, thank those of you in the chat who are still around. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. If you've still got some gas in the tank, go check out Samuel's Abyssal Musings tonight. I'll try to be in there in the chat. I don't know about Ryan or Kat.
I'll try to stop by you for a little bit. Yeah.
I'm going to bed because I have work tomorrow early.
Bye, Cat. Bye, Cat. We miss you.
Okay.
Good
Thanks, everyone.
night.
Have a good one. See you
All
next time.
See ya.
Good night.